Black African power. What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie. Defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woo-hoo-wee, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's God killing the house. And I come to do what I got to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm standing tall, standing strong. Hey, y'all know what it is, man. It's Bobby banging this bitch. What's good, family? Man, y'all see what it is, man. Got another great episode. A lot of confusion going on. A lot of misinformation running through. And a lot of extraordinary claims. First, I would like to get to this upcoming debate, March 28th. It's going down, man. 7 o'clock, man. It's a $20 donation. The links are in the description of the video, man. Let's get some people up in here, man. We can get this going. African science is really African traditional medicine, spiritual systems. That's exactly what it is. And so we had Reggie, and we're going to deal with Reggie. Reggie has this weird way of putting you in a situation where you look good for a second, and then you die in the next moment. So they had a panel full of people talking about how don't use proto-science and all that. And so my discussion was never over whether we should use the term proto-science or not. The conversation was over whether what these ancients were doing could it be considered science. Now, when we use the word science, we're literally talking about science. The confusion is when the other parties play this wild game. And I often ask the question, why is it that you have to use the word science anyway? Think about it, because if you want to use the term science, science doesn't pop up out of nowhere. There's transitional periods before you get to that. If you want to talk about traditional knowledge systems, then those traditional knowledge systems have the right to stand on their own. There's no word for science in the time periods, Stone Age periods, 1.3 million, 3 million years ago, the Holocene, 10,000 years ago. In ancient Egypt, there is no term for that. And what we learned based off of what the sources that Reggie was using, what we learned was there was accumulative knowledge and wisdom systems that were super accurate for its time period. And then, but shouldn't that be enough? You can't argue that they didn't have pre-scientific ideas or proto-science, right? And then say, don't use the word proto-science. I'm going to say it again. You can't argue that, one, you agree with science and they have science, right? And then disavow the term proto-science. Because as soon as you use the term proto-science or pre-science, you're actually saying that it is the first. They don't want that. It's the first, the pre, the oldest, the primitive, the beginnings. They don't want that. They fight against that. Reggie did a whole show on why we use the word proto-science. But he's right. He's right. I agree with him. Don't use the word pre-science or proto-science. And I appreciate the brother Reggie for bringing that out. I was doing something different. I was saying that they was doing it first. That's what the word proto means, first. The start of, the beginning. That's what I said. But he said he don't use that word. So scholars say if you use that word, don't use it as a term that matches it up with modern science. Don't use it as a term that makes the science or what they had even comparable to science. You should never match them two things together. That's not what I was doing. I was putting it in this proper perspective. But they said, don't use the word proto-science. I agree. So we won't use the word proto-science. Let's call it what it was. But they're going to keep saying science. But why? You don't want to use the word proto-science, which is the first, right? That's all it means. You don't want to use that. You want to use science, but you can't because science didn't pop up out of nowhere. You're trying to match them up with modern times, but why? I'm saying what they was doing stands on its own critiques. What they was doing was the level of that time period, which was greatness. So y'all got to stop using the word science when talking about prehistoric peoples, when talking about systems that was developed outside of the realm of science. Talk about their wisdom, their traditions, their practicalities, their empirical data. Talk about that. And then do enough investigation to say exactly what it was. Stop using the word science. But you know why they won't stop using the word science? Because they understand that their word has power. They trick y'all into thinking that science is just science. No, it's not. As soon as you say science, we're talking about modern science. And as soon as you say science, there's a period that is prior to modern science. There's steps to get into it. You put yourself in a predicament by fighting against proto-science. So let's take away the word proto-science and let's call it what the indigenous people was calling it. Let's call it what the indigenous Africans from the Nile Valley was calling it. Let's call it what the indigenous people in Western Central Africa and South Africa was calling it. What was the systems that they did that allowed them to produce high-level culture and civilizations? Let's talk about that. And as soon as I say that, they'll make a video and say, see, he said they didn't have science. But of course they didn't have science. Why they need to have science, y'all? Why can't they have their own indigenous ideas? Why y'all want to put apples to oranges? Because that's what people who fight against the word proto-science is saying. People use the word proto-science to say that these people had something that was lesser than science. And they say they guard against. Don't say that. As a matter of fact, don't even put them in that category. They had their own separate system of wisdom and knowledge that incorporated their belief system, their spiritual systems, and their complete worldview. And what was that body of knowledge called? It definitely wasn't called science, right? It couldn't have been. You don't get science through modern times. The question is, why is Reggie and them fighting against the word proto-science, which would mean that those people had the first of its kind? Why they fight against that and then still want to use word science? You can't have it both ways. Oh, what tangled web we weave when first practiced to deceive. Mumble jumble. Mumble jumble, bumble jumble. I'm not getting, we will deal with you, Reggie, Friday. A thorough critique and a paper will be presented. This is what, when we play the game, we play the game at the highest levels. We don't play the back and forth, sa.neter, shuffle, buffle. This is what we're not doing. But you can have it both ways. If you use the word science, then there's transitions to get to science. If indigenous people had systems that incorporated their spiritual systems in it, then it would not be science, no matter what y'all say, because that's not what science is. Science does not incorporate belief systems in it. It's very dry, it's very plain, and it's right there. It's trying to knock out your biases. Simple as that. Simply to know. How is it that you know what you know? That's what it is. And we can talk about Deere's work, but we're not going to talk about Deere's work on this show. Back to this debate. It's happening March 28th. Let's get it in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it in. So I want to talk about the origin and debate over African science. I would like to get into that first. Let's just educate each other on that. No, the Egyptians did not have science. They had what they said they had. They had temple knowledge and wisdom produced by priests. They had data. They had empirical data. We can look at that and say that. But they didn't have science because no one wants to use the word pre-science. No one. So we're not going to use it. Upstairs, brother. Right. Yeah, no one wants to use that, so we won't use it. I agree. I agree with you, Reggie. Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah, we don't want to talk about it because it definitely was in full developed stage at 10,000 BCE. Of course it wasn't. Nope, it wasn't. Nope. We agree. So let's deal with the historian Scott Hendricks. He argued that the English word for science, as it is used by the 21st century English speakers, means modern science, and that use of the word to describe pre-modern scholars is misleading. Even an astute reader is prompt to classify intellectual exercises of the past as scientific based upon how closely those activities appear to mere activities of modern scientists. Noting that natural philosophy was a far more neutral term than science, Hendrick recommends that the term be used instead when discussing pre-modern scholars of the natural world. There are sound reasonings for the return to the use of the term natural philosophy, that for all its impressions reveal rather than imposes meaning on the past. So we don't, based off of Reggie's work and research, based off of Deer's scholarly work, because that's one of the scholars Reggie used. Based off of that, we don't never want to do that. We don't want to impose modern ideology, modern terminology. We don't want to put the things that other institutions were trying to do, Europeans and anybody else, on ancient societies that lived in the world prior to any of them being around. We don't want to do that, Reggie. So I appreciate your fight of not using the word proto-science. I'm going to play this video right here. Reggie got crossed up. Let me play this video, right? Very interesting video right here. Y'all going to know who it is as soon as I put it up here. Now I got your back on this, Reggie. You can get right into it. Easy work. It's what we do around here. We do easy work around here, man. Pay close attention to the conversations. Pay close attention to what we're actually doing and what we're not doing. So let's get it. Let's start this off right here.
I'm not neutral. I'm going with Apostle. I'm not the moderator. I'm not the moderator. I'm going to be on the outside with everybody else. No, I said I'm not the moderator. I'm not the.
You're not the moderator, but you're the host controlling these shows.
Okay. All right. I got what you're saying. Let me come on over to my main man, my homeboy in the building, Revelation X. I know he got some smoke.
Peace and
That's
blessings.
my
Peace
brother.
and blessings.
Yo, peace to you.
Yeah.
So Revelation X is a wild Christian, and I like him. I'm gonna do him like he do us. And I like Ankh, and I like Reggie. But he misconstrued what Dr. Ben was actually saying, and Reggie should have checked him. See, watch how I put this together. Now, watch how Revelation X is a support of Christianity. Watch this. And watch how he actually disrespects Dr. Ben.
Yes. Salute to Morpheus. And on Morpheus's defense, what he's saying does kind of, he does have a point, because your opinion does matter. And just the mere fact that, you know, so I do agree with Morpheus on that. Shout out to Morpheus and Apostle on this debate. And in terms of Morpheus, something that you just said, if you're strictly going by the word and what it says, just keep in mind that the Bible, you know, it comes in parables and, you know, it different proverbs and stuff. So it mightn't really be direct. I'm just kind of talking on Apostle's behalf. Because, I mean, there are certain things in the Bible you really can't just take it by the word, because it is a parable. You know, that's just what it is. So it would be something different. But other than that, I'm there for the debate. This debate is going to be great. And I'm actually here for Brother Reggie sa.neter, if you want to take me off of the big screen.
Bring the tears out. Bring the tears out.
Hold on. Where is Reggie? Yes, because there was a time then, the last time I spoke to Reggie, I asked him. You see, he doesn't like this to talk about religion. He hates religion. I asked him, you know, if he believes in God. He says he believes that his mother and his father brought him here. I asked him, Reggie, what would you tell a child in terms of, you know, creation? He says he would tell the child about evolution. To me, it's crazy, because a lot of things in evolution and science, he said science. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, you're right. Reggie, you're right. Let me correct myself.
I don't talk about evolution.
He didn't say that. It's true. You didn't say that.
I talk about my mother and father. So
no. Hold on. You said science. Let me correct myself. And thank you for correcting me.
I told you whether my son wants to believe it or not, he came from his mother's womb with my help, right?
No. No, I'm not talking about that. When I asked you, what would you attribute to creation? You said I would tell them science. That you literally said the words that you would say science,
yes.
Which I have no problem with. I probably thought that you were talking about probably natural selection and, you know, Charles Darwin and all of that.
I was talking about birth and sperm and womb and egg and labor and how can I say and providing and prenatal care and trying to be there and responsibility. I would talk about that. I'm not talking about spooky.
All right, let him finish, Reggie. Let him finish.
It's okay. It's a dialogue. I don't mind talking to Reggie, and you can take me off the big screen if you want.
This is not interrogation, Reggie. This is about.
Of course not.
Debate.
Yes, but Reggie, the reason that I'm on you, because I realized like it was almost when I was listening like you and Morpheus against Apostle. So I'm here to tag team with Apostle just a little bit for you, because I see sometimes something in you, Reggie. I really like you to the point where I know I love my elder Reggie, but the hypocrisy, Reggie, needs to stop. So if I was to ask you a question, Reggie, simple question. Is science separate from religion, Reggie? What would you say?
Science is depending on context. Most of the time, in the early period, they were closer. In the later periods, they are. But you're not my judge.
Of course not. And you
bring in my mother to make your point to proselytize. I have to go. All right. I'm sorry. I got a phone
Don't
call.
Run, Reggie. Reggie, don't run from me.
Okay.
Don't run, Reggie.
Stop talking
I'm
to me
sorry.
like that, dude.
So I'm not being respectful.
Bring
I'm not being respectful.
Don't tell me to run from you.
Bring it out,
I'm asking you to stay. Just stay. Because sa.neter, even last night, Reggie was talking about Dr. Ben. He was talking about he met Dr. Clark when Dr. Clark was in his 70s and all of this, right? But then if these people are your teachers and you love them and you respect them, why don't you teach what they teach and why don't you defend their teachings? Now, sa.neter, you know me. So this is what I'm going to do.
I'm sorry.
Told you, Revelation is a hard.
This is what I'm going to do. Defend. You love them and you respect them. Why don't you teach what they teach? And why don't you defend their teachings? Now, sa.neter, you know me. So this is what I'm going to do.
I'm sorry.
Told you, Revelation is a hard baller, y'all.
So Revelation, can I ask
Wait,
you a
he's not my
question?
Prof. He's not my judge. And yo, stop that stuff. You would not say any of this stuff. I'm not being tough or nothing, but you wouldn't talk to me 10 toes down, right?
Come on, Reggie. He ain't doing nothing wrong. He just asked some questions, brother. I told you.
No, you wouldn't be doing that. And you know what? You know in 4 or 5 seconds that you shouldn't be talking to me about the way that you be
I
talking.
told y'all that Revelation.
Reggie, what did I do? What did I do?
Hold on. I told y'all. See, I know my people up here. I told you that Revelation know how to get in their chest. Just with questions, man. And he's doing it. Let's go, Revelation. Bring it out, man.
Yes, sir. Now, and I'm gonna just say this. I have to attribute some of my skills to Morpheus because Morpheus literally taught me how to ask a lot of questions. If you look at how Morpheus styled, that's what he does a lot too, though. But he does it with points. So Morpheus, I want to thank you for the strategy. I really appreciate it. But back to Dr. Reggie.
I want to ask you a question.
Hold on, Morpheus. Don't take the fire off of him, man. You gonna go? Let my man cook, man.
Let him be emotional, man. Oh my God. All right.
Listen, because I'm not a scholar, okay? sa.neter, you know me, I'm gonna just let the scholars do their thing. Who is this sa.neter?
Let's go to the planet of Luxor, where your ancestors and mine started the concept of religion of the deity. When they started to conceive that man could not be here solely by himself, automatically, just drop out of space, that man must have had some sort of a physical as well as a spiritual beginning. And it's along the line that your ancestors decided, and from there at the planet of Luxor, in what was then called the mystery system, they developed in the priesthood the several liberal arts. It was in religion that man developed science, not in science man developed religion. Religion, that what was considered a spiritual beginning, solely by himself, and it started to
sa.neter, you know me, I'm gonna just let the scholars do their thing. Who is this sa.neter?
Let's go to the planet of Luxor, where your ancestors and mine started the concept of religion of the deity. When they started to conceive that man could not be here solely by himself, automatically, just drop out of space, that man must have had some sort of a physical as well as a spiritual beginning. And it's along the line that your ancestors decided, and from there at the planet of Luxor, in what was then called the mystery system, they developed in the priesthood the several liberal arts. It was in religion that man developed science, not in science man developed religion. Thus, there should be no conflict between religion and evolution if one knows what one is speaking about.
Okay, now Reggie.
The teacher, Reggie.
Reggie, thank you, sa.neter. Yes, sir. Reggie, every time I ask you about this, you're never really able to tell me. You keep telling me that's not what he meant. That's not what he meant. Dr. Ben just told everybody it is in religion that man develops science, not in science that man developed religion. So seeing that that's your teacher, and last time you told me that's not what he meant, can you clarify and elaborate and tell me what he meant by what he just said, Reggie, please?
Go ahead, Revelation.
Yeah, I can clarify.
Go ahead, say cool. Go ahead.
I'll talk to y'all later, man, because y'all going someplace else.
No, Morpheus, don't.
Look, man, let's get to Here's the point. We do a lot of conversations on the community of skeptics and the pseudo killers. We study the origins, and the history of science and the history of religion. We have a lot of evolutionary conversations that most people don't even understand. Why the hell is you having an evolutionary conversation? Humans developed brain in the Stone Age. And we have Stone Age brains, and we're using it now in the space age. Early conversations, early questions of early Homo sapiens sapiens was simple. You look at natural phenomenon and you ask a question, what is that? And you believed your answer. So it is very clear that what Dr. Ben was saying was that the ancestors of some African people started religion, right? Had some of the oldest religions, and he talked about how they thought man had a spirit and a soul. Nobody was supposed to take that and make a wild point and act like, that was a point we supposed to continue to ride with, because we know Dr. Ben himself is a quote unquote atheist. So he was just giving us what he felt like was the quote unquote history of how early religion started and how out of beliefs man would transition to scientific thought. So out of your belief system that you believed, which is accurate, later on down the line, humans would start to question what they believed and try to reason to the point where they would try to check their beliefs, and they wanted to know what or how do we check our biases? How do we know what we know? So when humans get to the point where they start saying, how do we know what they know? When people start to question Aristotle on them, you know what I'm saying? Platonists, Plato, those who study Plato, Aristotelians, Sophistic, they were saying, how do they know what they know? Out of this environment, you would develop philosophies on trying to figure out how you know what you know. And out of those philosophies and philosophical thoughts, you would then ask, how do you? What is the method of knowing how you know what you know? And this would be the basis of modern science. That's all Dr. Ben was trying to say. But my man, the super Christian, act like we supposed to follow people in the Nile Valley and follow a religion. And if we're not following a religion, some kind of way, we're not following Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben is an atheist. Reggie is doing what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to question all that, because that's what atheists do. Skepticism came to be the order of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Out of your beliefs came religion. Out of your religion, out of your mythology, out of your folklore, because you're trying to answer questions, and you develop models of folklore, mythology, great stories to answer those questions. Then you develop a philosophy to try to answer those questions. Then you start to develop methods to figure out, how do you know what you know? How do you keep your biases back? What system is best to employ to stop our senses from overtaking our reality? Y'all will never understand that. As long as you're guided by your biases. The blackology is a wild bias. It makes you use a word that is definitely developed by Europeans, and you mistakenly try to apply it to the people that look like you, why you gotta do it? Why not teach what the Egyptians was teaching? Why you gotta put the word science in it? They knew nothing about that. And they was the pinnacle. Watch this. See, they'll mistakenly say what I didn't say and misinterpreted what I did say. Watch this. I am saying that indigenous African cultures along the Nile had reached the pinnacle of civilization. And they did it with their traditional knowledge, wisdom, spiritual systems. They built great technology, great pyramids. They did their damn thing. Agriculture, all kind of stuff. They did all that. And since Reggie says we can't use the word science, then we won't. We'll just use the words they use. They had the priesthood, right? The priesthood developed knowledge and systems and reading and writing. That's what they did. Tell Reggie to tell us, well, what was it they was doing? What was traditional West African civilizations doing when they reached the pinnacle of invention? When they invented things, when they invented knowledge that would produce pottery and things of that nature, what was they doing? Because we're not going to use pre-science or proto-science. Remember that. We're not using that anymore. We don't want to run the risk of weighing what we now need today with what they was doing, and that would be wrong. And that is the reason why Reggie says that the scholar Deere says don't use the word proto-science, because it's an attempt to measure what they was doing, what they doing today. We don't want to do that now, do we, Reggie? And all the other people that's on the House of Conscience yelling and screaming, we don't want to do that. Because as soon as you use the word they had science, then we have to recognize how science came to be. We have to recognize that there are stages of pre and post and before and first. We have to recognize all these things because science does not pop out of nowhere. You know why they gotta use the word science? Because they give white people all the power. They're not comfortable with what the actual traditional systems was doing. The traditional ecological wisdom and knowledge and spiritual systems, they really don't care about that, but they act like they do. And then they're wild African Americans. You know why? Because the continent of Africa does not feel like the wild African Americans feel. The continent of Africa has one of the youngest populations on planet Earth. And 70 to 80%, right, of their people, watch this, practice traditional African medicine. So why ain't they pushing that? Well, wait a minute. The young generation in Africa is starting to flourish in science. Once again, when I say science, we're talking about modern science. Why is it that the African Americans that's claiming to teach African history is not teaching the history that the youth is trying to push? The youth is trying to get into evidence-based medicine. The youth is trying to learn about their ancient custom and traditions, right? And take from those traditions and add it into science scientifically, meaning they're trying to look at the indigenous plants, watch this, and incorporate it into the scientific methods that will give you the reasoning behind why certain plants work and don't work. This is what the new generation is doing. And oh, by the way, science has been doing that. Y'all didn't know that? Y'all didn't know that humans around the world dealt with plants. That's not just an African thing. That's a human thing to take the plants and their ecology and use them for medicinal purposes. They did a good job, because if they didn't do a good job, we would not be here today. We would have all got wiped out. See? So they've been building off of traditional knowledge. They didn't build off of science, because there ain't no science. They built off of traditional mythology, traditional spiritual social systems, which predate science. That's what the hell they built off of. See? They couldn't have built off of science, right? Because belief comes before knowing. Y'all didn't know that? At first, you got to believe. And as you believe, you walk towards that what you believe. And when you get to what you believe, you will even recognize you was either right or wrong. Yeah, once you get to something and you say, damn, that's not right, you ain't got to believe that no more. Or you say, damn, that was right. You ain't got to believe that no more. Science is simply a system to figure out how do you get around your damn senses. How do you get around your biases like blackology? How do they get? They don't want to get around their biases. They want to make up a whole thing that the youngsters in Africa is not even doing. The youngsters in Africa, they too want to learn about their traditional systems and they keep it separate. But they understand what the world is. The world is steeped in science. Oh, shit, y'all didn't know. Y'all didn't know they got a whole journal. They got journals. Y'all didn't know that? I thought y'all knew that. Ha. Thought y'all understood that. So y'all don't understand it, huh? Yeah, here you go. Annabelle, molecular geneticist from Nigeria. Okay. What about this? We're gonna play that. First of all, science in Africa, a continent on the crust of change. How African countries better support junior scientists. Molecular geneticists. Ifewe Annabelle highlights 3 priorities. April 2022. Second point is called Nature Africa, where Africans, different countries, different polities on the continent of Africa published in Nature Africa. It's a whole separate journal, ladies and gentlemen. It's called Nature Africa, where they practice science. Not traditional African science, but science. Discovery highlights Mirki power to probe hidden galaxies, mergers across the cosmic time. Ancient infections breaks out of Asia, fever zone. All these are scientific articles produced by who? Indigenous people live on a continent who has reached the level to push and promote the same thing I'm pushing both. But these African Americans, man, they trying to keep Africa in the goddamn Stone Age, and they do it on purpose and they do it willfully. They trying to tell y'all what they had. Now, they had their traditional spiritual knowledge, wisdom systems that put them at the level for their time period is what they had. Call it what it is. We're not acquiescing to European quote unquote ideas. Ain't that what y'all say? Never acquiesce to a faulty premise. What's the faulty premise? That indigenous Stone Age Africans, that Nile Valley Africans had science. They couldn't have had it. You can't have it before the word and the idea. How they gonna have it? They actually didn't need it. They had what they had. They had what they had brought to the world. But we don't want to talk about what they had and brought to the world. And Lord knows, after you figure that out, then you recognize, wait a minute, there's something called science. Yeah, guess what? Indigenous Africans, right, that grew up in certain villages and stuff are now participating in what y'all call the white man science, which is ridiculous because science is a human endeavor. It's a human idea that transcends all continents. It's what it is. But like Reggie said, there's no straight line. That's right, Reggie. I agree, Reggie. That's what Deer says. Deer is one of the sources that quote unquote Reggie uses. Don't run the risk to trying to connect the dots. Please explain a thing in their own setting, in their own time. Yeah, so I hate to tell y'all, but Africans on the continent of Africa, single dose treatment provide for sleeping sickness. They're practicing science. March 30, 2026. African investigator, DNDI investigator, National Sleeping Sickness Program, holding, there you go, what's that word? That would be acromzibolic pill. Let me get the proper pronunciation on that particular pill. Let me get this right. Let's see what it is. Pronounce that right. Acromzibolic pill. All right, at the Sleeping Sickness Hospital in Dberka, Guinea. There you go. Yeah. So while y'all trying to promote people to go in another direction, they not even listening to y'all. They want to learn about their traditional stuff. They want to put evidence-based information on some of the things that the tradition says. But guess what? There's a pushback. Because in certain guilds and in certain wisdom systems and now, you have to get initiated. It's hidden. It's secrets. They're trying to break the secrecy and bring it forth to see what works and what don't work. But y'all don't want them to do that. Y'all want them to stay right there. No problem. Then let's stay right there then. No problem. But in Africa, right now, in Kenya, okay, you got teachers. This is August 2011. It says, and this is what? This is Smithsonian Natural Museum of History, ladies and gentlemen. And what are they doing in Kenya? Let's see. It says, I drove back to Nairobi. Y'all should know what Nairobi is. It's where they have some of the oldest Australopithecus at. I drove back from Nairobi for a morning with Kenyan teachers who are charged with teaching human evolution in secondary schools. Human evolution is a required teaching assessment in Kenya for the Form First, that's 9th grade history course, and Form 4, 12th grade biology course. It says, I gave an opening keynote speech and was asked to relate our experiences at the Smithsonian in presenting human evolution to diverse public audiences in our museums, exhibitions, websites, and public programs. National Museum of Kenya Auditorium was convened by Dr. Kaleo Manthi of the NMK Paleontology Division. Yeah, man. Prehistory Club of Kenya. He's the founder of the Prehistory Club of Kenya. So while y'all African Americans is talking wild and reckless, these young African scientists and doctors are teaching in school systems what they fight to teach in American school systems. You got religious people over here like y'all saying, don't teach evolution, don't the hell with Charles Darwin. Where in Africa, they're not saying what y'all saying, man. So why y'all keep trying to bring them back? See, do y'all really care about Africa? Nope. Y'all only care about what African Americans think. You only care about what you think when you make a presentation and try to destroy the words that I'm saying or try to step on the knowledge that I'm bringing. Why not just shut the hell up? I find it's very, very incredible that the human beings that live on the continent of Africa, that y'all call Africans, that is really separate polities, different culture, custom, and traditions. They're not saying what y'all saying. Oh, you think I'm making it up? Let me play the interview. Let's see. Here we go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Hold on. Check it. Y'all can hear me put one in chat. All right, we got it back. Okay. All right, let's get it going. All right, here we go.
Particularly enjoy maths or interested in science, not because I was being taught really nicely, to be honest. I didn't particularly enjoy maths or any of those science subjects. In Nigeria, I didn't. And that then goes back to the teaching. How exactly do we teach this subject? And how do you make young people interested in it? I got interested in science because I've just been a curious child. So unfortunately, again, which is also another reason why I got into malaria research. I had a best friend who died of malaria. And she was literally like my best friend because we had similar interests. We loved comic books, we loved X-Men, and we loved watching Dexter's Laboratory. So we had so many things in common. And she died because the medicine that was given to her, chloroquine, to treat her malaria at the time was resistant. So she kept on she was giving a lot of doses, but it didn't clear the malaria parasites in her blood. And we were, what, 8, 9 years old? And so she died. And if you know, the malaria affects mostly children in Africa. So children are the ones more susceptible to it. So that obviously changed the way that I felt about malaria, changed the way that I felt about science, and just my curiosity. I started to ask questions, which unfortunately a lot of doctors in the hospitals couldn't really answer. But luckily I had my father was such a lovely man that he had literally engaged me in all my questions. He might not even have had the answers, but he'd get his friends who were, physicians to really answer me. And I did understand that it was because of drug resistance, which is why my friend died. And so that kind of sparked my interest. So my interest is a bit different because I obviously started getting interested because I was curious, and 2, because I had a personal, tragedy that kind of got me into that. But I would say that, like, generally science in Africa is better than it was before, but it's still not easy because of the things that are highlighted, the problems are highlighted before, the infrastructural problems, the lack of funding. Without this ecosystem, you can't really do the kind of science that you want to do, unfortunately.
You had a number of experiences. I mean, sorry about your friend. And, there's a saying that curiosity killed the cat, but your curiosity, takes you to science. And let me ask, when and how did you become a scientist? Can you tell us your story? I know you've talked about story about your friend, but tell us your story.
So I would start with losing my friend and getting very curious about, I was curious about drug resistance, actually, which is interesting. So I wasn't particularly interested in the particular area.
So it's not hard, right? We got a lot of haters in the chat, right? Y'all won't hit that link because y'all just haters, and it's okay. People hate what they don't understand. I'll say it again. People hate what they don't understand. They just hate what they don't understand. And that's okay. What they can't do is get around it. Now, I'm trying to deny the greatness of our ancestors. What I want to talk about, what they did and what they called what they did. I want to use their words, their indigenous languages, to say what they was doing. I don't want to use European terms, Latin terms like science. I want to know what was their wisdom systems of knowing and how they manipulated their environment to be successful and great. I'm saying that now, all of a sudden, I'm saying something different, huh? No, I'm saying now, since we can't use pre-science and proto-science, right, then we can't use it at all. That's what I'm saying. Because if you use the word science, then you have to talk about the history of it. Why do ancient people need science? They actually don't. They don't. They was great before it. Right now, 70 to 80% of the continent of Africa don't use evidence-based medicine steeped in science. They use traditional medicine. They ain't dying, is they? They ain't wiped out, huh? I can get into the why they should transition to evidence-based medicine, but they don't. Yeah, man. See where y'all put yourself at? Listening to Reggie. See? I agree, Reggie. Let's talk about what they did. Let's talk about they knowledge, wisdom systems that incorporated all aspects of their culture into the ideas that will produce some of the greatest civilizations on planet Earth without science. Or are you saying you can't produce a great civilization without the European word science? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that traditional people, because Sister Eason said it, she stood up on her, she said 100,000 years ago, they were practicing science. Why? Why wouldn't they practicing what they was practicing? Why give the authority to science? You can't give the authority to science and not actually talk about what science is and what it's not. Y'all want it both ways. Y'all want to use the word science, right? But don't want to adhere to the rules and regulations of science. I'm not never letting y'all get away with that. We're not doing that. That's the game y'all want to play, ain't it? I ain't letting y'all do that. But I look crazy to y'all. I look stupid. Yeah, all right. Right. Let me move on. Let me get here. Yeah, y'all want to play this silly game. It's a silly game for me. Super crazy game. Want to use the word our ancestors had science, but don't want to talk about science. Because science don't just pop up. It doesn't. It's an environment. It's a different mode of questioning. Science does not incorporate your religious systems in it at all. But they had science. No, they didn't. They had traditional knowledge wisdom systems that allowed them to reach great heights to the point where we would not be here today without them. They would all die out now, wouldn't they? So obviously, whatever they had made them great. And they did not need European produced words or ideas to be great. Y'all just think they do. See, Brother Unc don't think that. I do not think that they needed science to be great. I do not think that they need Europeans to be great. I do not think that y'all think that. That's why y'all keep saying it. When I tried to bridge the gap, y'all threw tomatoes at me. So now I'm no longer bridging the gap. I want to stand on what the ancestors stood on. But can y'all? Because ain't none of y'all practice traditional voodoo system. Ain't none of y'all did sacrifices with animals. None of y'all got an altar. Y'all don't got none of that. Y'all just African Americans running your mouth with the fake scholarship. That's what you're doing. You just talking that talk, but you ain't walking that walk. Don't throw sources in front of my face because I am going to read the material and critique them. I'm going to say exactly what Deere was trying to say, Reggie. What he said was, don't use the term science, is what the man really was saying. Don't use the word proto-science. Talk about what they was actually doing because you will run the risk of pitting it up against science. And that you should not do. Huh, right. Yeah. Bunch of haters. But y'all won't get in that ring with me, though, will you? Just talk that talk. See, get in the ring. I'm beating people up. All the way. Y'all tripping. Let's finish hearing what the sister has to say. Let's see what she has to say.
You know, investment in the private sector, investment in like biotechnology, right? You're getting all of these cool startups coming out to do really well. I have highlighted the challenges, and I've highlighted where exactly we are on the continent. But I also think that for example, when you look at a country like South Africa, there's been a lot of, investment in the private sector, investment in like biotechnology, right? You're getting all of these cool startups coming out to do really amazing things. And I really think that that's beginning to spread across Africa. So you have in Nigeria, you have some startups as well in the biotech space. You have some in Kenya, you have some in Ghana as well. So what I think is changing, I think one thing that from my own experience is changing, and I would say that because I also feel really strongly about it, is you know how basically we have a traditional path in science where you have your PhD, then you go on to do your postdoctoral training for about 7 years or so, 4 to 7 years, and then you go into university, do the lecturership, probably become a professor at some point. The traditional route is basically what I've realized a lot of younger people are not doing that particularly because we are in a different generation, and then we also are very passionate about solving our immediate problems around us. And so a lot of us are thinking about, innovative ways using, being entrepreneurial as well as using the entrepreneurial part to solve the problem. Because again, funding is amazing, but when the funding comes from outside, it's not very sustainable. You're going to keep going from one, funder to another. And sometimes everyone has their own priority. So if you've got your own priority, you can't really do what you want. You have to do what the funder wants based on their priority. And this is why domestic funding is important, because if countries start to invest in science, then young Africans will start to really do the research that really concerns them in the local context. So now what you're seeing is that younger people are using other means like business and investment startups to create solutions like diagnostics. We look at cancer diagnostics, there are young people doing that. We've got a biotech company in Lagos, which also tries to collect human genome so that we are being represented.
Okay. Yeah. See, so they're not even trying to do it the way Europeans do. They don't really want the outside funding because like they said, when you take outside funding, right, you're going to have to do what the priorities are with the outside funding. They start to have their own businesses and fund their own thing. Ain't this what they supposed to do? So y'all forgot that Africa was underdeveloped during the time periods when science was actually developed? Y'all forgot that, huh? It was enslaved, y'all. Y'all forgot that Europeans got lucky and bumped into the Americas, right? They was trying to find another way to Asia. Y'all didn't know that? Do you know how important that was? I'm going to say it again. Do you know how important that was? To bump into America? Once they bumped into America, they realized that, wait a minute, yo. There's other things that we don't know about. Now we got to question all the things that Plato and Aristotle said. That's what happened when they bumped into America. They realized, whoa, it's not fixed. There's more things to discover. It was a game changer. In Europe, bumping into another continent. Damn, that's new. Now we got to question everything we thought. Yeah, y'all playing, man. Y'all can't have it both ways, y'all. I don't want to hear about math. I don't want to hear about none of that. Learn traditional cultures and talk to me about what they was doing. Stop using Europe to be a crutch. I'm not going to let you do it because when I try to talk about it, it's a problem and it's an issue. See? When I try to bridge the gap, I get tomatoes thrown at me. Don't use this word and use that as if science pops out of nowhere. I don't know what y'all think y'all talking about, right? But in the world I live in, science does not pop out of nowhere. It has transitional periods. It has pre-periods. It has proto-periods. The first, all that. That's what it has. It doesn't have what the hell y'all think y'all talking about. It just doesn't. Wildest thing ever, boy. Crazy. People don't even know what the word proto is. It's the first. That's what it is. Y'all don't want the first, though. The prefix proto means first. Y'all didn't know that? Y'all should have known that. Y'all didn't know that. Y'all didn't know that I was saying they had the first. Y'all ain't want that, though. Y'all don't want that. Reggie don't want that. He did a whole wild argument over that. Y'all didn't know that? Y'all didn't know Reggie argued over that? Yo, Reggie argued over the word proto. He don't want to use that. He did a whole demonstration on why not use the word proto. Okay. There you go. So I'm not using it. And don't come up here and flam your way back to using it. We're not doing that. We're not. Here you go. See, I'm going to talk that talk and I'm going to walk that walk. Right? I'm not letting y'all use it again. Now, y'all got me. You right. I'm stuck. I'm not using it no more. Now, because this all I was saying. Proto. Cambridge Dictionary. My fault. Merriam-Webster. Proto. Or it's a variance or before the vowel. Proto. First time. So all I was saying. Beginning. Okay? All right? Rise to. Beginning. Giving rise to. Y'all ain't want that. Come on, man. First. Primary. Y'all didn't want that. Parent. Substance. The parent. Y'all didn't want that. Nobody wanted that. Proto relating to or constituting the recorded or assumed language that is ancestral to languages or to the group relating languages that are the first language, the proto-language, the primary. I said that. I said proto-science. Y'all threw tomatoes at me. Now we can no longer use that because y'all don't want the first. Y'all don't want the beginning. Y'all want everything. You can't have everything. Make your mind up because if you want to have the first science, then there's periods that you have to prove development. You don't want that. You want the shit to pop up out of nowhere. I told y'all have religious thinking. Y'all don't want that. Nope. Y'all don't want the proto, so I'm no longer giving you the proto. We're not doing the proto. We're not doing that no more. We out that game. We are out the game with proto. We will no longer use the word proto, nothing. We won't use for the first time in the annals of history that humans attempted to do it was in Africa. We won't say that. Proto history, before written language, beginning, giving rise to. No, they didn't give rise to nothing based off what Reggie said. Parent, they're not the parent of nothing. They're not the first form. They're not the primary nothing, y'all. No, I'm not doing it. You have won. The bomb squad, y'all all won. Now, don't talk to me no more about this conversation because we're not doing it. This is what we're not doing. We're not switching back now. We're not going to do it because we have a conversation about what science is. It's modern science. And there are steps to get to modern science. Now, that's where I'm at. Now switch it up in the chat. That's what the chat is switch it up on. Ain't switchy. Switchy. That's what they do. So we right here now. This is what we're going to do. We're going to keep doing our thing. We leaving them all behind. We ain't doing what the crowd is doing. Getting away from y'all. Y'all silly. Y'all silly type. So we right here now. African youth, traditional knowledge systems, and modern science, bridging heritage and innovation. I want to take the traditional sciences, traditional information. All right? I don't want to do that one first. I want to do this one first. Here. Because there was a whole lot of foolery around this. The origin debate over African science. So let's get here. Let me make sure y'all seeing this on the screen right. Okay. Let me get here with this one. Bet you want to act like you got to write a paper. You ain't write no damn paper. You tripping. We're going to examine traditional African knowledge systems. That's what I want to do. Because I ain't used the word proto no more. The introduction, the African science debate. The term African science entered academic discourse in the mid-20th century, sparking debate amongst philosophers, anthropologists, and historians about the classification of traditional African knowledge systems. Yeah, so they didn't have traditional African knowledge systems, void of European and colonialism. They didn't have that, huh? They didn't exist in an environment before that. Of course they did. Post-colonial intellectual context. Following the independent movements 1950-1970, scholars re-examined African intellectual history, questioning if traditional civilizations developed systematic knowledge comparable to modern science. See, we ain't supposed to do that. We ain't supposed to compare none of that. We supposed to deal with it in its environment. See, that's what Reggie claimed we're doing. Ethnoscience and anthropology. Anthropologists introduced ethnoscience. And this is where King J was trying to make the point. Ethnoscience to what? They use ethnoscience to study how cultures classify and understand nature. Don't y'all want to know how your ancestors qualified and understood nature? They didn't do it through science. They had their own unique system of doing it. I'm making this up? I don't think so. I don't think y'all know what y'all talking about. It says research analyzed African societies, traditional agricultural knowledge, medicine, and environmental observations. So yeah, they had medicine without science, y'all. They had agriculture without science, y'all. They did. They observed the environment. Let's keep going. Historiography of science. Modern definition. Historians of science argue modern science requires systematic experimentation, mathematical modeling, and institutional research. Thus, terms like indigenous knowledge or proto-science are often preferred. Right. Y'all don't want to use the proto-science, so we'll just use indigenous knowledge. Y'all don't want to go with the scholars. Y'all wanted that Reggie misconstrued the whole idea. Not a problem. We are not using proto nothing. They're not the primary. They're not the first. They're not the fathers of. They're not. They're just not. We solid now. Modern scholarly framework. Current scholarship distinguishes between indigenous knowledge systems. See? Proto-scientific traditions and modern science. There's distinctions there. And I recognize that. I love indigenous knowledge systems. I seek to study indigenous knowledge systems. Not y'all, though. Y'all want to place a framework on them that they didn't even have. Now, African scientists actively contribute to global scientific research and innovation. They sure as hell do. Y'all just listen to it. I say it all the time. You got people that come from indigenous villages that don't even use evidence-based medicine, use their traditions, and they go to school and they understand and transmit science and bring it back to the community. See? Yeah, traditional knowledge, look, maintains significant cultural and historical importance within African societies. Not that y'all. Y'all don't really believe that. I'm saying it does.
Protected by the Black Widow. Good juju, bad juju. Let them niggas know I'm coming. Y'all niggas summoning the demons, but I'm the demon that's coming. Good demon time. Good juju, bad juju. I'm God killer and I'm the one gunning. Top flight number one. Yeah. Now look, I'm standing at the junction. Good juju, bad. With knowledge and reality function facts. Now see that flame done came. And now y'all bitches running. Let them niggas know I'm coming. Let them niggas know I'm coming. Y'all niggas summon the demons, but I'm the demon that's coming. I'm God killer, and I'm the one gunning. Top flight number one. Yeah. Now see that flame done came. And now y'all bitches running. Run. All y'all life you been sitting on the benches. 2 dimensions. Cap, bitch, I avoid the trenches. I'm a home run over the fences. You say you study, that's cap. I stay with the heat, and that's a fact. Volcanoes and earthquakes, we make it shake. Wild ass niggas, you shameless. Keep talking bad, I make it famous. Good juju, bad juju. Protected by the Black Widow. Let them niggas know I'm coming. Y'all niggas summoning the demon, but I'm the demon that's coming. I'm God killer, and I'm the one gunning. Top flight number one. Yeah. Now see that flame done came. And now y'all bitches running. Good juju, bad juju. God killer, and I'm the one gunning. Volcanoes and earthquakes, we make it shake. Let them niggas know I'm coming. I'm the demon that's coming. Protected by the Black juju, bad juju.
Yeah, I'm coming. Y'all know I'm coming. Y'all already know I'm coming. What y'all talking about, man? We don't get off that easy around here like that, man. Yeah. Y'all see key academic sources right here, man. Go get them. a companion to African philosophy, Blackwell, Horton, Patterns of Thought in Africa and the West, Cambridge Press, UNESCO 2021, Science, Technology, Innovation in Africa, Youth, Education and Development in Africa, Afrobarometer, Snapping, The Scientific Revolution, University of Chicago Press. Yeah, what we doing? What we doing? Yeah, all right. Yeah, let me see what we doing. We doing this. This is what we doing. Now we're getting into traditional medicine. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Chinese and African traditional medicine. Ancient science, the question right there. Understanding traditional medicine system versus modern science. Yeah. Understanding ancient science. Chinese and African traditions medicine are best described as traditional or proto-scientific medicine systems, not identical to modern science. But y'all want to act like it is, don't y'all? This presentation clarifies the damn distinctions. Evolution of medical knowledge. See, I'm going to show y'all right here how medical knowledge from indigenous culture, gets picked up by modern science. See, y'all acting like the only place where nature occurs is in Africa. No, nature occurs around planet Earth, in the universe, ladies and gentlemen. Plants grow everywhere, and humans take advantage of the plants that grow everywhere, and they use them for medical purposes. Am I making this up? Here, a conceptual framework. Traditional medicine. See, this is part of a social, spiritual system. And you're right, King J, with that comment in there. You're absolutely right, brother. Because proto-science is definitely off the table. Traditional medicine, indigenous healing practices, and knowledge. Y'all saying they ain't had that? I'm saying they did. Proto-scientific knowledge, empirical observations, and practical remedies. Modern science, rigorous testing, reproducibility, and evidence-based methods. That's not in traditional African, Chinese, or African medicine. They didn't need that. Y'all keep thinking they needed that. They didn't. Traditional medicine versus modern science. Traditional medicine, broadly defined by the WHO, encompasses knowledge, skills, and practices based on cultural beliefs and experiences. Modern science, a narrow method with stricter evidence rules requiring controlled testing, reducibility, and open criticism. You don't have open criticism because you got to get into the guild. You got to get initiated into the system. It's different. They didn't need that. They needed what they had, and they was great at it. Define traditional medicine by the WHO. Knowledge, skills, and practices indigenous to different cultures. So different cultures have indigenous ideas based around their environment, their indigenous environment, their indigenous plants, their indigenous animals. Now, based on theories, beliefs, and experiences, it was based off their beliefs. Man, we talk about how beliefs and mythology and folklore, all that's in the game, y'all. It says used to maintain health, to prevent, diagnose, and improve or treat illnesses. They doing it right now in Africa to the clip of 70 to 80%. Y'all know that? Look it up. Broader than modern biomedical science, includes belief-based framework. They said it's broader on what they was doing. Remember, they let everything in. Remember that. But they did it at a high level. Distinguishing from modern science. See, traditional medicine offer valuable observations and practical remedies, making ancient science a loose phrase. Loose, bro, because that ain't what they was doing. Now, modern science requires controlled testing, reducibility, open criticism, revision based on the evidence. They ain't need that. That ain't what that was. They had a whole different system, y'all. Y'all don't want that system. Yes, y'all do. African traditional medicine, ATM. ATM, and a broad umbrella term, encompassing diverse healing practices across the continent, rather than a single unified system. Science is a single unified system. It didn't have a single unified system. But y'all hating? Do y'all think the people in our valley had the same system as the people in Western Central Africa as the same people in South Africa? No, y'all cheating. And y'all scamming if y'all say that. It's not true. Had their own polities, had their own institutions, had their own medical plants, diversity. Yeah, they had their own thing. Proof. Components of African traditional medicine. Herbal remedies are central to many practices, including bone setting, midwifery, and community healing. They're doing it right now. Often incorporates spiritual, ancestral, and cosmological elements. Is that not what they still doing today at a clip of 70 to 80%? Yes, it is. So why y'all gotta lie about it? Why y'all lying about it? They incorporate their spiritual and ancestral cosmological elements into their medical plants. We're gonna lie about it now? That's exactly what they do. And they did it at high level to the point where right now in the modern world, they still doing it. Y'all gonna deny that? WHO, Africa's perspective. The WHO, Africa views traditional medicine as a cultural rooted health category, distinct from modern scientific methods. Now, it's distinct. So y'all saying y'all don't want those indigenous cultures in Africa to have distinction from modern science? Did y'all say it's the white man thing? Y'all don't want to have distinctions now. So y'all don't really want to know about traditional custom and traditions. Y'all don't want it. Y'all want to play. See, I ain't gonna let y'all play with me, with my good name. No, sir. It's distinct. And they did it at high levels to the point where, in modern times, they're still doing it to the tune of 70 to 80%. 70 or 80% of the medicine practice in Africa is what is culturally rooted. It is distinct from modern scientific methods. Yeah. Recommended terminology. Described as traditional medicine or indigenous or traditional indigenous medical knowledge rather than modern science. See, y'all don't want that. Avoid calling it ancient African science without qualifications, as this blurs distinction between medicine, beliefs, and method. See, they trick y'all with the African science bullshit. It's trickery. Make the distinction. What the hell y'all talking about? See? Yeah. African traditional medicine's usage, prevalence, and impact. WHO African data. Y'all go look this up. 70 to 80% percentage of the regions using ATM as primary health care. So the primary health care is not science-based. It's traditional medicine. It's their primary health care. And did everybody on the continent of Africa die? Nope. All right then. It must be working, huh? Most popular. Herbal treatments are the most widely used form of ATM, African traditional medicines. Why ain't they telling y'all this? Because they not. They ain't even doing an evidence-based method. They doing herbal treatments. Now, y'all don't like the herbal treatments? Widespread trust, viewed as accessible and culturally appropriate health care. That's how they view their traditional African spiritual systems, as accessible and culturally appropriate health care. That's appropriate. But y'all African Americans don't think it's appropriate. Y'all want them to have science-based medicine, but they don't. They ain't listening to y'all. Funny. Yeah, that's how we doing it. Traditional Chinese medicine, TMC, is a long-standing codified medical tradition with practices ranging from evidence-based support to those with weak or mixed support. ACCIH on traditional Chinese medicine, TMC, has evolved over thousands of years. Using psychological, physical approaches like, acupuncture and Tai Chi. Y'all do that too over here, right? course, incorporates herbal products to address health problems. They're still doing it in China. Evidence for TMC approaches. Some TMC approaches may improve quality of life and certain pain conditions. Studies on Chinese herbal products show mixed results for various conditions. Safety considerations for TCM. The NCCIH notes potential contamination and serious side effects from some Chinese herbal products. Modern scientific evaluation remains critical for safety. Is it ancient science? A careful answer acknowledges historical significance, but distinguishes it from modern scientific methodology. Yeah. They lying, y'all. Common perception of ancient science, often used to describe old bodies of practical knowledge about nature, medicine, agriculture, or astronomy, implies historical importance and practical applications rather than strict scientific method. They hit the rewind button. Key conclusion: traditional medicine versus science. ATM and TCM contains real observations and practice, but are not identical to modern science as a method. Best described as historically important medical knowledge systems with empirical elements subject to scientific testing. Academic labeling: traditional medicine, indigenous knowledge. Ethnomedicine, proto-scientific knowledge. Y'all don't want to use the proto thing. Remember? Yeah, I like to understand that. Final thought: traditional medicine can contribute to scientific understanding, but should not be automatically equated with modern science. All right, 1 second. Let me get back. All right, hold on. Let me do it this way. All right, y'all should be able to hear me, right?
Protected by the black widow. Good juju, bad juju. Let them niggas know I'm coming. Y'all niggas summoning the demons, but I'm the demon that's coming. Good demon time. Good juju, bad juju. I'm God killing, I'm the one gunning. Top flight number 1. Now look, I'm standing at the junction. Good juju, bad. With knowledge and reality function facts. Now see that flame done came, and now y'all bitches running. Let them them niggas know I'm coming. Let them niggas know I'm coming. Y'all niggas summon the demons, but I'm the demon that's coming. I'm God killer, and I'm the one gunning. Top flight #1. Yeah. Now see that flame done came, and now y'all bitches running. All y'all life you been sitting on the benches. 2 dimensions. Bitch, I avoid the trenches. I'm a home run over the fences. You say you study, that's cap. I stay with the heat, and that's a fact. Volcanoes and earthquakes, we make it shake. Wild ass niggas, you shameless. Keep talking bad, I make it famous. Good juju, bad juju. Protected by the Black Widow. Let them niggas know I'm coming. Y'all ain't been summoning the demon, but I'm the demon that's coming. I'm God killer, and I'm the one gunning. Top flight #1. Yeah. Now see that flame done came. And now y'all bitches running. Good juju, bad juju. God killer, and I'm the one gunning. Volcanoes and earthquakes, we make it shake. Let them niggas know I'm coming. I'm the demon that's coming. Protected by the Black juju, bad juju.
Yeah, let them know I'm coming, yo. Let them know I'm coming, yo. Y'all know what it is, man. Yeah, we're ignoring the chat. We don't want to confuse the high-level information that's being presented here, man. All right? Y'all can go back. Y'all can get the books, sources that I push forward for y'all, man. Get the good education, man. So now I want to talk about what the African youth are doing. This is what the average African American won't do. They want to talk about it from their perspective. They're essentially acting like colonized minds. They're going to tell you what Africa needs. Let me talk about what the African youth think they need. This is where we at. So, African youth, traditional knowledge, systems, and modern science, bridging the heritage of innovation. They want to bridge it. African youth, bridging. 2 words. See that? 2 words. Most young Africans are educated in modern scientific frameworks, while traditional systems continue primarily as religious or cultural practices. This presentation explores the dynamic intersection of these knowledge systems. See, it's got to be separate to have an intersection, don't it? Yeah, y'all understand what the damn intersection is, don't you? I bet you do. Foundation in modern science. Formal education systems across Africa are based on global scientific standards. See, this is what's going on in Africa. See, while y'all live in a wild world where you take everybody back to the Stone Age and y'all think y'all kicking it, y'all think y'all living when y'all produce Stone Age ideas in the damn space age. Y'all tripping. Universities teach disciplines like physics, biology, chemistry, and engineering. This occurs in Africa, ladies and gentlemen. What the hell is the conscious community talking about? Methodologies are internationally recognized, derived from the scientific method. This is what Africa really doing. Y'all tripping. Traditional knowledge and cultural spirituality. Traditional systems like Ifa, deviation, and voodoo function primarily as religious and cultural practices. Yeah. Anthropologists classify these traditions as religious and indigenous knowledge systems. They say they provide cultural explanations for natural phenomenon, distinct from scientific framework. I'm going to say this again. They provide cultural explanations for natural phenomenon and is distinct from scientific framework. Growing scientific technologies and participation. Scientific growth in STEAM, education and technology, startups across Africa. See, this is why the pseudo killers visit Africa. Why y'all don't? We talking about recently. Big up the good juju, bad juju in Africa, promoting STEM. Big up the Dr. Oyamaya in Africa, promoting STEM. So you mean to tell me y'all out here running your mouth while the pseudo killers is actually doing that? Actually got programs? Big up to the Master Clan warriors putting books in Africa. Y'all can't do what the hell I do. Y'all can't do what the pseudo killers do. Y'all just can't do it. Y'all can't do what Dr. Oyamaya do. All y'all can really do is throw tomatoes from the comment section. That's all you really can do. Innovation in mobile banking and digital services driven by African entrepreneurs, not African Americans, establishment and expansion of national space agencies in several African countries. Go ahead and take the traditional shit and see if they can get in the space age with it. Why y'all talk crazy? Yeah, y'all talk crazy. Yeah. Don't make me say it. Sociology, observations, navigating dual perspectives. Many African youth combine modern scientific education with religious or cultural beliefs. Individuals work in science and technology fields while maintaining traditional cultural practice. The same way a damn Christian do. He goes to church on Sunday and take his ass in the lab to work on Monday. This pattern of integrating diverse belief systems is observed globally, not just in Africa. Like in India, y'all, like in China, scientists go to work every day in these different countries and practice their traditional systems, separate from the lab, because we understand what science is. Now, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? Science ain't got nothing to do with your cultural perspectives at all.
Let them niggas know I'm coming. Y'all niggas summon the demons, but I'm the demon that's coming. I'm God killer and I'm the one gunning. Boom, boom. Top flight #1, yeah. Now look, I'm standing at the junction. But knowledge and reality function. Facts. Now see that flame done came. And now y'all bitches running. Let them niggas know I'm coming. Y'all niggas summon the demons, but I'm the demon that's coming. I'm God killer and I'm the one gunning. Top flight #1, yeah. Now see that flame done came. All y'all life you been sitting on the benches, yeah. 2 dimensions, cat. Bitch, I avoid the trenches. I'm a home run over the fences. You say you study, that's cat. I stay with the heat, and that's a fact. Volcanoes and earthquakes, we make it shake. While these niggas, you're shameless. Keep talking, bet I make you famous.
Yeah. Somebody there say, I worship science. Y'all out your mind. I just told you we ain't talking about science. We talking about tradition, didn't I? Yeah, that's what I said. They can't hear. Yeah. Anyway, I'm dropping that link. All right. And don't get up here with the fool. Don't get batted up. Man, it's gonna make me say things that's gonna be mean. Don't do it. Be nice. Man, hit the Cash App, show some love, man. Y'all gonna have to show some love, man. Y'all definitely gonna have to show some damn love. Hit the Cash App, man. Show some love, man. We up here working, man. We working, man. Show the love. Because we working. All right. We working. And you know we got that debate coming up. All right. Y'all know it. All right. While we at it, right, we're going to deal with the one that's happening right now. One that's coming up immediately in March. Right now. 28th. Morpheus versus Apostle. Make sure y'all get the tickets. It's in the link, man. Was Jesus a fraud? Was Jesus a liar? That's going to be 2 debate topics. That's going to be fire, man. I'm not a moderator or nothing, and I'm picking Morpheus. Then after that, the next one up, we got Chief X versus God Energy, where the Moors will conquer Spain, Black / Nick Voigt. $20 donation. That's going to be April 4th. Next month. I'm calling it a tie before it happened. I think they're going to both overemphasize. It's going to be a good one, right? We're going to see 2 worlds collide on this. Make sure y'all support that. All right. And then we're going to finish off these rounds of debates with Sekou against Easy. Is the Bible the word of God? That's going to be April 12th. So it's going to be $60 for all 3. Get them. Show some support for the channel. Show some love, man. All right. The one that's coming up immediately is this right here. Was Jesus a fraud? Was Jesus a liar? And it's been heated. Man, get with this, man. But yeah, man, so right now, man, go ahead and hit the Cash App, man. Show some love right there, yo. All right, important. All right, this is our Cash App moment segment of the show, man. Let me see. Get some love around here. All right, let's see. See if we can get some love right here. Yeah.
Cash App. Baltimore. Yeah. Cash App, don't let it run you. Money fill the gas, but it never feel honey. Cash App. Dreams get so fast. If you don't own your time, you just rent your past. Cash App, screens full of flex. Real life hit hard when the rent come next. Cash App, tool not God. Use it, don't lose it, keep your head on top. Lend a mill, lend a bill, lend a pay me now. Everybody yell, get it like a sacred house. Timeline full of blessed, but the stress still lurks. Same folks posting gas, still drowning in hurt. Explosions of cash and the camera flash, but the lights cut off when you can't make it last. This ain't a trick, but it move like a spell. Type in the amount for that dopamine swell. Quick tap, quick send, quick high, quick drop. Then you back in the cold when the real don't stop. I done seen love turn transactional quick. Send some in the DM like that's all it is. Cash App, don't let it run you. Don't let it run you. Cash App, don't let it run you. Don't. Hard work, yeah, I respect that. But rest ain't weakness, I protect that. Cause money earn me nothing if your soul get thin. If you're always up next, tell me you when you win. They sellin' hustle like it's peace in the pack. But peace don't come from a green little stack. So send when you can, look out for your kin. But don't let the app decide how you feel within. Set them rules, don't be ruled by the buzz. Real love is a call, not a what's up, cuz. Cash App. Cash App, don't let it run you. Don't let it run you. Cash App, don't let it run you. Don't. Yeah. Baltimore.
Man, show some love, man. Hit that Cash App, man. Doing it like we had to do it, man. I done dropped the link, man. I hear a lot of ridiculous comments in the chat, man. A lot of ridiculousness in the chat. Yes, sir. Yeah, what did he say? We know that proto means first. Obviously not. They didn't. They said proto meant before. Man, shut up. Ignorant shit. He stay ignorant. Got the first caller. What's up, Reggie? What's going on?
Hey, brother Ankh, how you doing, man?
I'm chilling. I'm enjoying life without the word proto science. I think it's proper for the conversation, and I love it. I love it.
What does that mean? I love it. I love it.
Like we don't got to talk about science no more. I love it. Because we don't got to talk about science no more. We can just talk about what they actually had and how effective it was in making them great civilizations without other people. I love it, bro. I think this is a great place. Reggie, we want to thank you for actually putting us in that position, yo. I appreciate you, bro. Good work.
Yeah. Me and you, we cool. We just have a intellectual disagreement.
Not no more. I agree with you. Remember?
No. You don't agree with me.
I do. I agree. They didn't have proto science. You're right. We're not going to use that.
Okay.
I'm not agreeing with you, Reg.
Good. So the question is, did they have science?
No. Why would they need science, though, Reggie?
Okay.
I'm asking you. Hold on, Reggie. Why would they need science? If they had their own thing before the word was even invented, why not? What, you didn't know they made themselves great before people started talking about science? You didn't know
that? The question is, did they have science?
Nah. They had traditional knowledge. I thought you was gonna get up here and give us some Egyptian words on what they was doing. That's what I kind of thought.
No, I will get to that. But can you give me a source?
For what? I gave you all the sources.
African science is not a science. Can you give me a source that says
I did, Reggie? You didn't watch the presentation?
No, you conflated.
I didn't conflate anything.
You conflated it with modern science.
No, I didn't. No, I've never done that, Reggie. Y'all did that, not me.
No, don't. Let's relax.
I am Reggie. I never did that. I never did that, Reggie.
Show me a source where African science.
Reggie, y'all talk about the source. Y'all talked about the whole source in your show. I'm not over talking. That was the source.
What was the source? That
yeah, that was the source. We read that whole document.
Yeah, who wrote it?
The Nigerian guy, Olomo, I can't even say his damn name. He's a Nigerian. We read that.
Right. So in his abstract, right? He didn't say African science is not science.
No, he said it was traditional stuff.
Yeah.
He said you shouldn't put that together like that. He also said that too. So
Okay.
anyway, what's your point, though, Reggie? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, no, my point is, do you have a source besides that source? Because
that's not my conversation. That's you and Wishman common conversation.
Where in it? No, whatchamacallit? Where is? Give me a source where Egyptian science, African science is not science. A direct source.
No, Reggie. Wait a minute. So you back to science again?
Oh,
when you say African science, you're not talking about modern science, brother.
No. I'm not talking modern science. I'm saying
science. So whenever you use the word science, it's talking about modern science.
No.
Yes. It's a modern idea, Reggie. It is, Reggie.
Science sits on itself. And
no, it don't, Reggie. There is no science in the time periods that y'all talked about. There is no scientific method yet. People have their tradition.
No, I'm not talking about the scientific method.
Right? Well, there's no science without the scientific method. There's no modern science without that. These things come.
No, that's modern science, but
that's all we're talking about when we say
science. Is not.
Reggie, we're not talking about what you talk about. You've made your own argument.
You're not going to do that for me.
We're doing it. Reggie,
okay, so let's do.
Listen, Reggie. For the record, you talked about me in proto-science. Let's have that conversation. I'm not going to sit up here and play with you about science when you don't agree with it.
Bro, I got a degree in science.
Bro, I don't want to hear that, bro.
I goddamn degree in science.
So now that means you lost, though, Reggie. Now you throwing in a 30-year-old degree. For what reason, Reggie? How that make you?
You mentioned my 30-year degree because I'm older?
Reggie, it's 30 years ago. Why you bring this conversation?
Wait,
I'm not doing anything.
Wait.
I'm saying you acquired that 30 years ago.
Years of work experience. You want to get rid of that?
Reggie, hold on.
You want to get rid of that?
No, let's be real, Reggie. You got rid of it because you throw it out there in the conversation.
No, I ain't get rid of it.
Reggie, we on sa.neter TV, bro. Nobody needs a degree. So you can't.
Nobody needs a degree.
No one needs a degree to have this conversation on sa.neter Studios, bro. What you talking about?
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so let's do this by the numbers.
What numbers? You don't want to do about the numbers, bro.
Give me the history of the word science.
That's in the 1900s. Somebody invented that. In the 1800s, this is the invented word scientist. When you start having scientists, so you can go back to Latin with the word science, yo. The Latin ain't got nothing to do with African.
So let me tell you, since you don't know, right? The modern English word, because it's an English word, science derives from the Latin scientia.
I said it.
Itself. Don't cut me off.
No, I'm saying I said that. The Latin, right?
Right. The Latin scientia. Well, if you said it, I'm gonna say it better.
Oh,
it's
appreciate
itself from Siri, right? That's the root word. It means to know, which historically denoted organized, demonstrable knowledge rather than exclusively the laboratory-centered practices of the modern era. Who said
so that's what we're talking about, though. That's what I've been talking about.
In class,
don't change. Hold on, I'm just saying, don't change my conversation, though. Don't change mine.
You're arguing only that there only exists modern science, but the African, in their context, in their time period, was in fact doing science.
No, in their context, they was doing traditional.
No, show me a
practices.
Show me a source that they were not.
Reggie, I showed you 10. How they gonna do science before science?
Reggie.
Hey, Reggie, how are they gonna do science before the scientific method, though?
You know why? Because
why, Reggie?
Show me a source.
Why, Reggie? Come on, Reggie.
Science.
Come on, Reggie. There's no such thing as African science.
You can't show me a source.
Reggie, when you say I showed the source, Reggie, that's you and Cedric conversation.
I don't talk to that dude no more.
What I will tell the audience,
I won't mention them.
What I will tell the audience is this, brother.
Okay.
It is clear. When you say African science, you're talking about traditional customs and traditions of indigenous African people. You don't mean modern science, Reggie. So why are you having a conversation with me? Am I correct?
Science.
What? What you saying, Reggie?
When it applies to modern science.
When does it ever apply to modern science?
Modern science because it wasn't laboratory. They didn't have the instruments, but it was in fact science.
So how's it science without the scientific method, without the instruments? Nobody had that, Reggie.
Scientific method.
Reggie,
You're not going to win. You're not going to win with me on that.
Hold on, Reggie. So you basically saying the Greeks practice science, Reggie?
You said what?
Are you saying that the Greeks practice science, Reggie?
No, yes.
Okay, and I disagree with you.
Okay, so then there's our.
It's called natural philosophy.
I was just going to say the same thing.
No, I'm not.
I couldn't hear you.
King J, stay out of this for a second. Okay, show me a source.
You're part of the conversation. I'm not paid to go back and forth.
Okay, then King J, show me a source. Do it for Ankh. Do it for the team.
Come on,
show me a source that Egyptian science or African science did not exist. That it wasn't science. Show me a source,
bro.
Show me a source.
That makes no sense.
Well, by definition of the word, Reggie, if they didn't have science, if they're not if the separation of the metaphysical is when I start to see science around the 17th century.
Show me a source. I don't want to hear you. Show me a source.
As far as when they started separating the metaphysical
I don't care about what you think. Respectfully, show me a source. Because if you're not showing me a source, it's just
your. I got. Here you go. Here's the sources right here. I don't know why you talk. You can't be talking to me like that. I know you. Definitely ain't talking to me. Can't be. Can't be.
Protected by the.
You can't be. All right. Here you go. Here you go. Companion to African philosophy. All right. You got Horton, 1993, Patterns of Thought in Africa and West Africa, Cambridge. You got UNESCO, 2021, Science, Technology, Innovation in Africa.
Yes,
Afrobarometer, Youth, Education and Development in Africa.
2020.
Say the scientific revolution. You gonna ask for a source and gonna talk to me?
Okay, wait. Why would they say,
bro? Hey, bro, that's the source that conveys the ideas that I'm telling you.
It says science.
What is wrong with you, man?
Technology and innovation in Africa.
Here go my academic sources right here, bro. So you know what? Since you haven't read them, and I have. Don't talk to me, Reggie.
Wait, show me in line. Show me in line on UNESCO where African science is not science.
Reggie, so this is my point I want to make. And King J, please get into the conversation. Don't let Reggie bully you off here. Listen. So me and you understand this, King J. We clearly understand that you have philosophy that predates science. See, we know this. You also have what they would call what's it called, yo? Before chemistry, it's called alchemy. There's no debating over whether alchemy predates chemistry. So nobody is having chemistry before alchemy. See, we understand a lot of thoughts. No one is having science without philosophy. So if you ask me if there's African philosophy, of course it is. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to make scientists pop up out of nowhere. Right. And then when you say, OK, let me help you transition to these parts where everybody did, then they want to deny it. So my thing is very clear. If you deny proto-science, you deny them being the first and you deny them being the fathers of. OK, you're doing it. Not a problem, not an issue. So once you do that and I say, OK, let's take it off the table. Let's just deal with it in its environment. We're going to do a whole show on Africa and its environment. We're going to talk about deer. We read the works of Deere. Easy work, brother. As a matter of fact, he says that you're doing something. What he says is you're trying to take what the Africans was doing in those different cultures, and you trying to put it up against what they do, what modern people are doing. It makes no sense, brother. Keep the apples with the apples.
I'm not doing that, so we can move on.
You are doing.
Anyway, show my screen. Anywho, show my screen.
Where you at, King J? Because I'm not doing. I ain't back and forth with Reggie.
I'm here right here.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here right here with you. I agree. It suggests that the African mind is different than the universal mind. Instead of. So I definitely understand that concept. When the brother is talking about, so he asks for the source. So the source that I would give the brother is the ICSU response to UNESCO 1999 through 2002. It's called the 1999 World Conference with UNESCO. It talks about modern science versus traditional knowledge. So that would be the source that I would give you, Brother Reggie.
Okay, fine. Maybe I could add it to the stage because you're not going to do it. So why is Cambridge University of Cambridge, the Department of History and Philosophy and of Science. Why is that university saying ancient Egyptian science? Why does a whole university say that ancient Egypt is one of the early civilizations that have left written pictorial archaeological records of its culture, including medicine, mathematics, and astronomy? Working with these sources can be immensely fascinating and satisfying, right? But at the same time requires stamina and the willingness to leave our modern categories and concepts behind in order to engage with those of a civilization that flourished 3,000 years ago, right? So why does it do that? I'm gonna give you another source. I'm gonna give the audience a source, because you're saying that they were only doing spiritual blah 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 blah. But in fact, unfortunately, that's not what the universities say. That's just what you say. So let me go to another source, Bookmark Manager, and let's go to science. And let me just give you another science. Well, because you're talking and I'm demonstrating. So let me go up to science. Come in. No. I got to go to science and pull it up. 1 second. Where is it? It should be maybe at the bottom because it's new, but otherwise it should be. Let's see. Come on. There goes science. Oh, there. Thank you. Shoot. Okay. A new model origin of life. No, that's not it. So, right. Okay. No problem. Just go to my history. Let's go to my history.
What's going on? What's up, Joe? What's going on, brother?
Okay.
Peace, everybody.
How you doing, man? What's going on?
Okay. So first, let's.
Reggie, hold on, Reggie. We're not doing.
Reggie's not doing it. Reggie could get off, right? So
right, bye, Reggie,
he got a source. Let him read the source. What was the source?
Listen, man. I'm not getting up here going back. Reggie crying. I'm doing my show the way I'm doing my show, Reggie. I just want to introduce Joe. You can't handle that.
Right. I just want to say, before I'm
saying, if you just want to leave, Reggie, you can leave. I don't care.
No, don't leave, Reggie. Hold up.
Hold on, Joe. Hey, Joe, listen. I'm doing my show the way I want to do my show. I'm not putting Reggie off. Okay? So I wanted to introduce you, and then I'll let him do. I'm trying to figure out what the hell he's doing because I had to go somewhere for a minute. Right? So if you want to play this game and run and play this crazy game, he can. So how you doing, Joe?
I'm doing good. I had a question for everybody on the panel, but I wasn't sure if Reggie was going to touch on what I was going to say or not. You want me to just ask the question and then let Reggie do his thing or what?
No, don't answer the question. I just wanted to introduce you.
Okay. Peace to everybody.
Okay.
Peace.
All right, what's up, Reggie? What you about to do, Reggie? What is you about to do?
Oh, you're letting me up. So in 1916, they were wrong about when they were talking about science.
You said what?
In 1916, right? Because I gave you the origin. I gave you the origin of the word science. I did that, right? So now I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you some progression. I showed you a university today at Cambridge that has a whole study on philosophy and science. So now, I'm gonna go back.
Reggie did what?
Cambridge University has a whole department on African science.
No, they don't. Not on what you're saying.
Yeah, and I was going to say, so Reggie, I'm reading the Cambridge History of Science, Volume 7.
No, you can't root me, though. You can't root me.
Hold on, Joel, why would you just jump in the middle of what I'm... Hold on, brother.
Because you're rooting!
Brother. You having a Tourette's outburst. Calm down. So I'm reading the Cambridge History of Science, Volume 7, The Modern Social Sciences. It says, scholars in this camp argue that science is a very specific 17th century invention characterized by methodical naturalism, the strict separation of the physical world from the spiritual world. So, Reggie, this is your own source that's saying this. This is Cambridge History of Science, Volume 7.
Now, watch this. Watch this. Watch this. First of all, I know you can't show because you're not on the computer, right? Can you show it on your phone?
I'm on my cell phone, but we could do like we did yesterday where you pulled it up for me.
I'm gonna show you how to read. So let's read slowly. I'm gonna show you how to comprehend. Read what you say. Read what you said again.
Reggie, what are you talking about? So did the Egyptians practice? Hold on. Did the Egyptians practice proto-science or not? You said no.
No, they did not. They practiced science.
Okay, so then science don't pop up out of nowhere, Reggie. That's what you keep trying to do, and science don't have
no. I said it doesn't
Reggie,
pop up.
prove to me that the Egyptians separated their cultural practices, their temple practices from what they was doing, Reggie. That's all you would have to do, then you would win the conversation.
No, I don't. I already
won. No, are you listening to what I'm saying?
He can't. Nobody can show that. I got a question though, fam.
So they can't show. Hold on, this for the audience. Whether y'all agree or disagree,
No, I got. See,
if they
you know
can't
what?
show that, then it's not that. Like
No,
so,
that's
Reggie,
your
don't
question.
fucking talk over me, Reggie.
That's your question.
This leads
to
my question though, y'all. This leads to my question. What y'all talking about right now?
I'm not gonna be howling and screaming like two old men up this motherfucker. This is what not I'm doing. What I'm saying is, y'all need to stop acting like y'all know what the hell y'all talking about when y'all talk about science. Y'all tripping. I read the source that says when you say science, we talking about modern science. We talking about the scientific method. We talking about all those things. And when we talk about the history of it, we want to talk about how they got to that point. What system do humans use to kill or slow down their biases, to eliminate their senses, the way they feel, the way they see stuff? What is the best way of knowing how you know? That's what we really talking about here. So you cannot have your Nile Valley traditions, your West African traditions, your European traditions of belief and folklore in it. If you do, then don't worry about it because it's not science. It'll be proto-science, like they have thoughts towards that, but it's not there. So go ahead, Joel.
All right. Hey, King J, I'm sorry I tried to cut you off because you went right to where I was going to go. So, look, my question to everybody is, when we talk about science, like today, we try to figure out why things are like they are. We're not just talking about how it happened. So when we talk about gravity, they want to get into the nooks and cranny of why gravity is the way it is. If we set a fire, they're not just dealing with the fact that something is burning. They want to know what's the three things that went into making it burn. How do you make it burn hotter? Like all these things like that. And that's modern science. The people of old are not doing these things. They're not trying to figure out why planets and the Earth and all these things orbit. They're not trying to figure that out.
Wait, Joe.
Bring a source.
I'm just trying to reason.
You're trying to reason. All I'm gonna do today is give you sources. Show me a source.
Okay. So wait a minute. You want a source that says that the people of old were not trying to figure out how planets orbit?
You ain't gotta bring no source.
Is that what you? Hold up. Let me try to understand what he said. You want an article for that?
Do you got a degree in science?
No.
Now you gotta have a degree.
No, stop. Everybody, hold on. Let me understand, Reggie. Reggie, what do you want?
Joe, can you give me a
for
source?
what? What do you want the source for? Yes, I will get you a source.
To show that the people of old, particularly the ancient Egyptians, certainly in medicine, didn't ask the questions, why was this happening? And try to figure it out. Show me a source for that.
All right. I'll be back.
He said, "What, yo? Show you a source for what, yo?"
Yeah, he set himself up.
Come on, man. You know what, yo? I don't like this.
No, don't get scared now.
I don't like this double. I don't because it's my presentation, brother.
Okay,
you kicked everybody off your show. What point are you trying to make right now, Reggie?
I'll do my own show.
Reggie,
and when I do my own show,
Reggie, why are you talking over? What is it that you're trying to do right now? Just do it, Reggie. But I'm not gonna let you take an hour on doing it. Be sharp and concise, and let's move on. My show not gonna get slowed down, but I've already presentation niggas half to death. So what is it that you're trying to show? And just do it, bro. I'm not gonna let you do no damn presentation. Come on, bro. Just do what you're trying to do.
Historians of science also stressed the dangers of imposing contemporary understandings of modern science onto pre-modern and non-European contexts. Who wrote that? Colton, 2021, right? He explicitly warns that much of what we understand about modern science can't be easily defined across different time periods and societies, and that modern institutions about science are themselves a source of anachronism in the study of pre-modern science and technology. He thus urges readers to avoid projecting a late modern, Eurocentric picture of science backwards onto earlier and geographical diverse practices. That's my point.
We agree with that, Reggie.
Okay, then fine. Then I'm leaving. So
I'm not agreeing with that.
So African science is still science. It's just not modern science, but it's still science.
Reggie, that's your argument, Reggie. You got Ashe, he gonna tell you the cooking is science.
That's the same point.
No. That's not the point. You know why? Because I read a source and you're
crazy.
talking, you don't have a degree.
Oh man,
in
I
science.
quit, yo. Hey, you beat me down to your level, yo.
You don't have a degree in science.
Do you
so
know
I'm
the
not
deer?
listening to you.
Hey, yo, did you know the deer? Your source you use. He say, man, he basically expresses the same idea that you're expressing right now with that particular source, bro.
Yeah,
So I
deer.
say, yo, I like the way they did that. I can agree with them. Like, why they gotta have that though? Do you know how great them civilization was, yo? You know how great Egypt was?
But they were still science.
No, because
That's
you
the
keep
part.
saying it. You keep saying it. Not because that's what it was, because you keep saying it. They didn't have modern science. And when you say they
Okay, so
didn't,
let's
then
pull
you
up.
agree with
Let's
me.
pull up.
Because that is my conversation. Let
Let's
me
pull
show
up
you.
the deer article. All right, so you know what? We're not the experts.
No, you are. You got a degree.
Even
Remember,
me.
you said that.
Even me. No, my degree allows me to pull up sources. That's what my degree does.
All right, man.
Right?
Reggie, did you not write that paper? Hold on. Did you not write that paper the other day?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Did you? Let me get Michael. No, let me get Ashe up here. What's up, Ashe? The man that says cooking is science. Go ahead, yo. Did you not say that, Ashe? The cooking is science.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. That's what the source that I pulled up said. You got to stop. You got to stop.
Oh, shit.
Hold on. Wait. Have some.
Hey, Reggie, I take it back. I am a scientist. That's the case.
You might be. Anyway, let's go in.
Oh, so chefs are scientists.
So what we did was we pulled up the definitions of you niggas is stupid. We put up the definition come on, bro. Like, hold on. Like you being ignorant, bro. I'll put you in the back chat, bro. Don't be ignorant, please. Don't be ignorant. Don't do that. Don't do that. I sat quiet as hell. I sat quiet as hell, bro. Don't do that.
Nah, he tripping. Nah, he tripped out. He called
people
stupid.
Hey, yo,
you gotta get off the show,
bro.
Because you call somebody stupid. So we're not having that type of conversation. Yes, we're not doing that. I'm not calling you stupid. You're messing up the form of the show.
Over me as I'm speaking.
No, bro, you're not. Listen, this is what I'm saying, Ashe. We're not playing this game.
What game is we playing?
Just because you got your little channel,
bro. Stop playing in my face. Stop playing in my face. You name call all day.
I did not.
You name call all day.
Bro. I'm gonna move on to Michael Ross. What's up? Get yourself together.
You just don't want me to speak, bro.
Get yourself together. What's up, Michael Ross? How you doing,
What you trying to do?
I'm doing all right. Hey, man, I cash apped you because you beat him up today, and I think the elder Reggie know that you beat him up today. Listen, I was watching Reggie's show, and I watched how all of this came about. And the problem I have in this conscious community is when people are wrong, they just refuse to admit that they're wrong. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I pulled up what proto-science was, and as you was trying to explain it to these gentlemen on the panel, it was everything that you said it was. So then when you proved it in your presentation by beating a dead horse, if I was you, I wouldn't continue to beat this dead horse. Because Elder Reggie says this, and I don't know why he keeps saying this, because in knowledge you can be self-taught. You don't always have to go and get a degree, Elder Reggie. And listen to this, Elder Reggie. If y'all got a problem with white people and calling everything the white man science and the white man this and the white man that, y'all don't take this into your everyday life because you're using something white people made. So it's irrelevant. Like Unc told y'all before, it doesn't matter who discovers this. It's all a human endeavor.
Okay,
So that's why I came on to say that, to big up
Ross,
to you.
Michael Ross.
Hold on, brother.
Let the man
hold on, brother. Hold on, brother.
Yeah,
I did mention you.
Everybody spoke over me when it was my time to speak.
Hold on.
Hey,
You can let him. Hey, Elder Reggie. Yes, I mentioned you. I watched your program. You didn't allow the other person to speak when he disagreed with you. You kicked him off the show. You said easy like this, removed him. So, hey, man, listen, bro. Listen, if we're going to use modern science, y'all know that what y'all calling African science, y'all know it's not modern science. And that's what I'm getting from the brother Unc from watching all of y'all presentations.
I'm not saying it's modern science. Stop lying. I'm saying it's just science. I just read you a source where it just says you shouldn't conflate it.
Okay, so hey, correct me if I'm wrong when you said you don't want to use, because you called it proto-science, right? Yeah, and they said don't use the word, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
so you tell it. This is what I got from the presentation. You saying if we not gonna use science, then eliminate all science about and call it for what it is.
Right. That's it.
Okay.
So why are you still using science, Elder Reggie?
I need a source for that. See, look,
all you got to do is read the definition of what proto-science is.
You know what? When we have disagreements,
let me read proto-science to him.
When we have disagreements,
hold on, Reggie. You go next. You Reggie. Then Ashay gonna go.
It says proto-science.
Me.
Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. This goes to the point that Unc was making. He says proto-science is a field of study in its earliest stages of development that, while not yet fully established as science, uses scientific methods and may eventually become a recognized science. Okay? Y'all keep trying to make it African.
No,
and,
give me the source.
Hold on, brother.
Hey, Ross,
y'all keep trying. Hold on, brother. Hold on.
Ross,
y'all keep trying to. Hold on, brother. How you an elder and you ain't got no decorum? Hold on.
Come on, Reggie. Come on.
Because I am an elder. I'm older.
Okay, well, hold on. Have some decorum, brother.
Reggie,
have some decorum.
Reggie,
have some decorum. Just have some decorum. Listen. So how are y'all gonna keep saying it's a science, right? And then I read proto-science, and y'all keep saying Unc is wrong, and he just saying it's in its early stages. And it says it ain't became, let me read another. It says the bridge to science. Proto-science is often described as undeveloped or pre-science that, if verified, can become a standard scientific discipline.
Right.
And that's all he's saying, and y'all arguing it. I don't understand it.
Okay, so now I'm talking. Give me the source for that.
Man, Ashay is next.
Yeah. Like you crazy.
When you read BS and you don't,
it's a definition.
We can check. I didn't say. I said when you read BS.
He read the definition.
All I'm asking you the rules, or give me a source for that.
It's a definition, Reggie.
From where?
It's a definition, Reggie.
From where?
Reggie, it's a definition. You don't. Now we gotta source up what a definition is.
There.
You was crazy, man.
You have it. No, now don't call me crazy, yo.
You crazy.
Okay.
All right, we gotta move on.
Let me and I'm glad that the
hold on, Ashay. Check this out, Ashay. If I mute your ass out and put you in the bottom, yo, that's where you at. Right? This ain't your channel, this me. Same on your thing. When you mute me out and put me down there, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. I gotta respect that. You can't do that, bro. Stay where you at. Stay in your lane, right? I'm not saying you. Hold on. I want to be fair. I'm not saying you ever put me in the box because you haven't, right? You let me get my thing off, but you started name calling, and it's gonna trigger me, yo. We're gonna mess up the whole show because I'm never letting a nigga name call me. So what I'm saying is to let me speak. Listen. So to keep the decorum, this is a great show. So I'm just telling you what it is, bro. I ain't trying to lowball you. I'm just saying what it is, yo. So go ahead, get your point out, right? Let's keep the healthy conversation going. It's a good conversation, bro.
All right. This is why you need to allow me to speak. I get the whole domineering thing, but this is why you need to allow me to speak.
Get the whole what?
Because just like I'm glad what the brother just said before he left, because I wasn't saying it in regard to the conversation y'all was having, saying y'all are stupid. I was just saying, just like we in the hood, bro. I'm like, just like man, you crazy, bro. When I spoke and everybody spoke, at the same time as me, man, y'all niggas crazy, man. Y'all niggas stupid. That's how I was saying it, bro. I wasn't saying it like, oh, y'all are stupid. I was just saying, like, y'all crazy, man. Y'all stupid, man. It wasn't nothing to be highlighted, bro. It was just because everybody was yelling and talking at the same time. It wasn't about nothing that was even said. That's just
okay. So what's your point, sir?
That wasn't even the point I was coming with. Now, this is what I want to pull up real quick, bro. This is some examples of proto-science, because I think even now proto-science is being misinterpreted as this whatever. Even bro trying to proto-science refers to a new area of knowledge in the process or of becoming established as legitimate science, following scientific principles but lacking empirical conclusive testing. Examples include historically evolving disciplines like alchemy, the precursor to chemistry, Wegener's early theory of continental drift, and modern fields such as memetics and string theory. So we can see right here, proto-science does not necessarily mean it's old. Proto-science actually refers to something, to a new area of knowledge, right? So we see alchemy is here, continental drift is here, astrobiology here, memetics is here, string theory is here, cryonics is here, cybersecurity science is here, astrology is here. So these are all examples of proto-science, right? Now, if I was to, science, is engineering and technology proto-science, or is it an example of utilizing the scientific method, of the modern scientific method, which you would consider the modern scientific method?
Technology is not science. They built the pyramids. It wasn't science. It was technology, bro.
Can you have technology without science?
Yes, obviously.
What?
They did it for hundreds of thousands of years. You bought the article at 77,000 years where they had technology, yeah, I'm saying, of making mattresses that actually kept goddamn bugs away, yo.
So okay.
How you gonna have chemistry before alchemy? So proto means the first of, regardless of regardless of the time period. So you can be in Africa and have a proto thing that will later on become this. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is with that. Y'all get me confused. Reggie came and did a whole presentation on how not to use quote unquote proto science. But there's a specific reason why Deere says this. He says when you use proto science to draw a straight line back to Europe or something like that, and modularize what those people was doing, that's wrong. I never did that. I never did that. That's my point. So the author actually agrees with us. He talks about when actual modern science is. He talks about that. And he says, why not just use the words of what those people used? I feel like what those people was doing raised them and elevated them to the level. Without all of that, they had their spiritual system in it, all that, and they was fine, yo, to the point where right now in Africa, 70 to 80% of the people still don't practice evidence-based medicine. What's wrong with that?
Right. Well, why when I'm going through, okay, for example, when I had my debate against King J, you showed me I was misappropriating, I was putting things in places they didn't belong. And like I told you over at the frontier, I'm gonna say it here again, nothing is coming out of Ashe's ideas. These are not Ashe's independent views. These are what the archaeologists and the anthropologists are saying. The archaeologists and anthropologists are the ones saying that this is a quote-unquote African science. And these are the ones who are saying these people 77,000 years ago are participating also in science. So it's not me saying this. These are the respected archaeologists and anthropologists. What is your reply? What is your response to that?
My reply is when they say African science, they literally talk about religious, spiritual, technological systems that produced on a high level. That's what they're really saying. They're not actually equating to modern science, yo. Yeah. That's all I'm saying, bro. I should be able to say that without being an idiot in the room.
You can say that.
Let me read something, y'all.
No, let me say this real quick. Because this is big. That was not, I don't know about you, right? But far as I think Reggie will agree with me. Reggie, if you don't, come off mute. Reggie, me, God Energy, Issa Queen, Musa, Hercules. We wasn't saying that the ancient people or ancient Africans had modern science. We were just saying that they had science. Now, what kind of science you want to put it under and the door you want to lock it and close it in, that's up to you. But what we are not, we just saying that there was an African science, there was an ancient scientific method that they utilized.
But why call it African though?
Not one time. Why call it African? For all of the reasons that I discussed in the debate, because I was dealing with the origin. We even had these type of conversations beforehand. If we was dealing with just the origin of it, the origin point, or if we just dealing with Africans on the continent doing science. For me, it was really both, but I'm really focusing more on the origin. Because when we're dealing with Africa, we're dealing with the actual genesis of humankind itself. Are we not?
Yes,
so
we are.
But that's
if we're dealing with the genesis of
like
humankind, this is why we highlight Africa and we don't highlight other places like Japan or India, right? Because this is where we see the genesis and the evolution of the human thinking on the continent of Africa.
All right, so let me say this to you, Ashe.
And you try to divorce that from that, then we're having a problem. And let me see that being done.
Let me tell you what I hear you saying. It's almost like you're saying that without the people on the continent of Africa coming up with ideas, other groups wouldn't have advanced them all their selves and also came up with these technologies that you're calling science. You know, this thing that you are calling African science sprang up all over the planet. That's a Homo sapien thing. Yeah, so people that are over in China can say, oh, we came up with X, Y, and Z. They weren't doing that over there. And then somebody over in somebody who's from the Middle East can bring up with the Babylonians and them folks did with astronomy and astrology that topple everybody. And so everybody can say, oh well, we got science and somebody else don't. That's like a bad argument. It's a really bad argument. People just come up with stuff in their environment because it helps them survive and to thrive. That's everywhere. That's everywhere. And let me say this real quick, then I'm gonna let you go. The next thing is trying to make it seem like what they were doing is in any way comparable to what we're doing now is a fallacy. Because we're trying to figure out why is it that this particular rock does X, Y, and Z. They didn't care nothing about that. All they did was just build with it and call it a day. All right, I'm done.
All right, let me get Kyle on here. What's going on, Kyle? Gotta come off mute, Kyle. Probably driving.
I got something for Reggie too.
Yeah, Reggie's.
So that's kind of why I was with the argument with the brother Ashe. It sounded like everything he was talking about was basically through a cultural lens, right?
Right.
In our debate, I brought up the wolf bone, right, opposed to the Ishingo bone. So me doing that was to basically show that we're showing tally marks, right, in the Czech Republic, in Africa at the same time. It's a universal logic. It's like you're almost saying that Africa has a monopoly on universal laws. These universal laws and principles are discovered, Ashe, not invented.
Yeah, they're already there. They're already in place. It's not.
Y'all talking about universal laws, but you trying to make that point, and that's why you lost the debate, King J, bro, is because you didn't debate the actual data that was in the debate itself. Well, so I didn't cut you off. I had a lot of decorum and I let you speak. There was actual data, there was actual evidence. We went into certain practices that they did that took a certain type of scientific method, right? You know what I mean? Had the conclusion to follow, and we seen the conclusion of other people's when they had a malpractice trying to utilize the same function in the same tool. So this is just the things that I highlighted within the debate that you were trying to straw man this whole point out, but that's why you lost the debate, bro. I understand universal science, but there are also some things that are exclusive to the continent of Africa, which I highlighted in the debate. It's not a conversation for now, though.
And I disagree with that point, and I push back because I exposed that their method, Ashe, was spiritual ritual.
You did it.
If their method is ritual, that's not a scientific method. That's subjective. I mean, that's objective. A scientific method is objective, Ashe. If your method has rituals in it that's subjective, then that can't be the variable in a scientific method. No scientific method has subjective variable.
I beat you already, bro. You can't win.
Well, I say you didn't beat me. Hold on. And just to be objective, hold on. Just to be objective, this is how I know you didn't beat me. I put the debate I put the debate in Chat GPT, and it said you lost. It said your argument came from an ethno-science point of view, cultural lens, which we all is everything we're saying.
Yeah, we know that. We agree. Let me read this. So, who won, who lost is never important in these debates. It's what did we learn from the conversation? Big up to the pseudo killers.
Hey, can you kick me down and bring me back up? I can't hear everybody.
Oh, you can't? I can hear you. You can't. All right, hold on. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna do it again. All right. So let me read this right here. All right. Important aspect of the conversation. Here's the source. All right. Big up to Malcolm, man. First of all, I'd like to shout out to the Cash Apps, man. Let me call them out real quick, and then we're gonna read the source, man. All right. All right. Okay. Appreciate that support. Michael Ross, man. Appreciate that love, man. That's love right there, bro. Doing what you're supposed to do, man. Kendrick, man. Appreciate that love right there, yo. All right. We need 3 more, yo, and we reached our goal for the day. Now, science in the ancient world. So this is the conversation we have. But let's see what they're saying. It says science in the ancient world refers to the early development of systematic knowledge and inquiry across various civilizations, primarily examining how proto-scientific ideas evolved into more structured forms of science. Now, my proponents disagree with this completely. They don't want the structure. They don't want any of that. They don't want the transformation. They don't want they don't want it. So I say, bet. Let me finish reading. While many ancient cultures, including those in Mesopotamia, Egypt, India, China, and the Americas, made significant contributions to mathematics and technology. We say this all the time, they are like we killing their ancestors. Crazy work. It say they often intertwined their observations with religious or superstitious beliefs. Now, who on this damn panel and who on the chat can deny that? You can't. It says, which hindered, we're trying to tell y'all, which hindered the development of natural science as understood today. For instance, the Babylonians excelled at astronomy and mathematics primarily for astronomical purposes, while the Egyptian society utilized mathematics for practical applications like land survey, but lacked abstract scientific reasoning. Now, somebody gonna get up here and act like they did, but they actually didn't. That's not an issue, because whatever they had, they were very, very successful at it. So I offered an alternative. I said it's proto-science. Reggie did a whole 3-hour presentation on how that's crazy. Then let's call it what it was. They had the traditions mixed and intertwined in it, and as soon as you have those religious, spiritual, cultural, land-based, geographical-based ideas, it's no longer science. It's cultural traditions. It's African science. It's Chinese science. It's Indian science. It's Native American science, which incorporates their cultural, land mass, geographical beliefs. I can't make it no more clear than that. I can't. So they're going to play this game constantly, mix up the audience, because guess what? The audience...
Can you go down to the origin of science?
Yeah, we can go down to the origin of science.
Read that.
They don't want the origin of science. They don't want that. Nobody wants this. So I ain't reading it now. I'm going to let somebody else talk, then I can get into it. We got the...
Hey, Ankh, real quick. Share my screen real quick, because I think it may have some clarity to kind of what
think you just. I
Talking
think
about it, kind of go
that
over
would have
with.
killed. I think that would have killed your whole discussion.
Yeah, so that's why I want Unc to share my screen.
What would have killed my whole discussion? I'd have read the whole thing.
The origin of science piece.
Yeah, if I read that, man, it's gonna kill y'all. It ain't gonna kill me, bro. I ain't read it already. I know that.
While he's reading the shorts, I want to say something.
Go ahead, Rich.
Okay, thank you so much, Ankh. We just have a disagreement, nothing big.
Nope.
No one is saying that African science is modern science.
Right. Thank you, because that's my conversation.
No one is saying that, but to separate it from science is why we're having this disagreement.
I never did that. I never did that.
No,
I tried to connect it by using the word pre, which means the first.
Go
ahead, Reggie. But don't say what I didn't do.
I'm just telling you, we can rewind it back. It's on tape, right?
I didn't say that. You said it many times that proto science is not science, and that the Egyptians. You said the ancient Africans didn't have science. You said that
they didn't though.
Okay, so you say
because they had their religions. Y'all don't get that? Hold on.
No, I get that. No. Hold on for a minute. Wait, I was speaking. I never got a chance to finish my statement.
Reggie, chill out, Reggie. Y'all don't understand when you have your regional, meaning the region you come from, like the Hebrew traditions, the Chinese, your regional traditions, your deities, different African countries, regional differences inside of your data, that immediately eliminates it from being what I'm talking about, science.
Modern science.
Yep.
That's all I ever been talking about. I ain't been talking about nothing else. I said science means modern science. Because if not,
that's crazy. That's craziness, huh?
It does not mean I'm glad you got that on tape.
No, this is why hold on. Listen.
That's a compound word. You know what a compound word is?
Reggie, this is what I'm saying.
Wait, you never let me speak.
This is why we stay in a state of confusion. Because we refuse. The reason we stay in a state of confusion because we refuse to adhere to simple definitions. When you're talking about science, you're actually talking about proto-science.
No.
And you say it, but you do because they have their traditions and priestly ideas in it that would render it proto-science. But you deny that, Reggie. That's my whole point.
That's crazy.
Okay, let me speak. Wait, I deserve to speak. Wait, I was cut off. Okay, so I'm gonna go back.
I'm not trying to be rude. I can't hear nobody, but so I don't know if I'm talking over somebody or not. But
you know you are.
With the people who are saying that the proto-science is science, like would they take the explanation that God did it as a reasonable assessment of how things came to be, like far as like scientific experiments?
Excuse me, the Egyptians had experiments.
Thank you.
I can't hear nobody.
They had something called the perfect method. What was the comedic word, Reggie?
The Tepesep.
There you go.
So they had method. So since he can't hear us,
why y'all trying to do that? Why you said go ahead, Reggie?
Wait, let me speak. You won't let me
go ahead,
speak.
bro.
Okay. What you're doing, Ankh, is
what was the perfect method? No, what was the perfect method? Don't answer that. Say what you're gonna say, then answer that. Then we'll get into it.
Yeah.
They're gonna leave out Hecka every time.
That's fine. Okay, so what Ankh is doing is Ankh is creating science to mean only modern science. And the fact of the matter is, I'm saying to Ankh, modern science is a compound word, right? So it's based on science, but it's a different, it's laboratory based, which has its own definition of modern science. Science in itself has its own definition, right? Which comes from to know, right? And not just but not just to know, but a historically denoted, organized, demonstrable knowledge, rather than just to know. But that is different than laboratory-centered practices. What you're doing, Ankh, right, is using this word modern science to remove the fact that other cultures earlier had science. Then what you do is say it can't be science because they had mythical practices. Well, it's still science. It's just not modern science, but it's still science. My only argument with you is that what you're doing is using a anachronistic model, right? And so when you say you're imposing modern science over all sciences, and I don't think that that is correct, right? Because you have to look at the time periods. 500 years from now, there'll be another construction, another compound word of modern science that talks about another time period, right? And they will go back and say, yeah, they was doing modern science, but this is the new modern science, right? Because so now they will add another compound word on it to separate a time period. But to say that it was not science and that the only definition of modern science, the only definition is modern science, is incorrect model. And I'll stop. We could agree. We could disagree about that. We could continuously disagree about that. But what we would do is not say what Reggie thinks, not say what Ankh thinks, but go to the sources to see
Reggie,
what.
Don't say what you're saying, Reggie. Let's move on. Go ahead, King J. You had your screen.
Why you do that?
I'm moving on. I'm saying the source don't agree. We'll get back to you.
Show me a source.
Get back to you.
I raise my voice.
Yeah,
show me a source. I just showed you Cambridge.
No, you didn't.
I just showed you.
Reggie.
I just showed you Cambridge, right? University in their philosophy and sciences that they call it African science.
Reggie, listen what I'm
if
saying.
I'm wrong, if my source is wrong, you go write a paper and you go.
I'm not writing a paper. Reggie, let me say this.
I know you won't. I know you won't.
Hold on, Reggie.
I know you won't write a paper.
Hey, Reggie, listen.
Yes, Ankh.
Watch what you about to do.
Hey,
Reggie, watch what you about to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you what Reggie's about to do before he do it. And I'm going to say it. Well, I'm going to ask Reggie this question. When he answers the question, he's going to show a clear distinction between science, which is really modern science, right?
No.
And African science. He's going to show a complete, watch this. So, Reggie, does African science have their custom and traditions intertwined in it, Reggie, or is it totally separate?
They have their customs and traditions. Right? But that doesn't mean.
Now, hold on. I'm just saying, I told you what you was going to do. What you did was you just explained proto-science. That's all.
No, I did not, because I'm using sources to say, let me go read this again for you.
You don't got that supposed to say that.
I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it again.
No, we want to let King J go. I'm gonna let you. I want to let you off the hook.
No. Because I like word science derives from the Latin scientia, itself from scire, which means.
So you saying just to know, right?
Wait,
that's all. Hold on. All right.
No,
okay.
I didn't know. No, it's a comma there.
No. Let's meet it. No, let's meet common ground. I want to meet common ground. You're basically saying
you don't play fair.
I am. No, I just want to, Reggie, listen.
You don't play.
You basically saying, hold on. You basically saying that, them people, they was trying to know. That's what you basically saying, right?
No.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that the word science, the word science is relatively new.
Okay.
In Latin, they called it scientia, from the root word scire, which means to know, which historically denoted organized, demonstrable knowledge rather than exclusively the laboratory practices.
Hold on, let me deal with this person right here. I'm gonna put you on the screen. It say Ankh stagnates the learning I come here for. Hey, brother, I know I do. Because you don't understand anything I'm saying. So tell you what, Tony Jones, right? If you think that I'm stagnating you, then just sit here, write down some of the things I say, and put it in your chat GPT. Or at least look it up and see how stagnant I really am. I'm trying to raise you to the point with the rest of the world, because none of the crazy pseudoisms can actually be orchestrated in your real world and you be successful. So if you think I'm stagnating you, I apologize for the stagnation, brother.
Well,
you got King Jago, man.
Anything with science, right, is a description of science.
Anything, I'm not going back out.
Anything with the word science is a description of a particular type of science, and it's a compound word. A compound word denotes two concepts, right? But authors actually say that there was an African science and an Egyptian science, right? That it actually says that. Now,
no problem. Hey, Reggie, no problem, Reggie. No problem. And you just explained to us what that was.
Right. So
you just explained proto-science. That's all I'm saying.
But they don't say it's proto-science.
They just say science.
They just say science. Well,
you said they say that. No.
You're looking through the eye.
Reggie, I'm asking you one more time. I'm gonna say this. Reggie is gonna say what I just said. I'm gonna say that science actually has no religion attached to it. Right? It's not subjective. Okay, at all. It's empirical database with no religious, no regional different, none of that. Meaning it's universal. Meaning you can and explain the natural world. Then watch this. I'm gonna ask Reggie the question. Then he's gonna say, "Yeah, they had this in African science," and the Chinese said, "Right," and you're gonna prove my point. So Reggie, did African science had a custom-made traditions in it?
First of all, it's African science, so it's science. So the second part of it is yes, but it's still African science.
Bro. All right, no problem. Go ahead, King J.
Listening to the brother Reggie, everything I hear is going back to African indigenous knowledge and applied natural philosophy. That's just what I hear when I hear the brother speaking. But I would just like for you to share my screen for 1 second.
No. Show me a source.
Reggie, let the man finish.
No, show me a source. If you're going to
I'm trying to share my screen right now, Reggie.
See this, Sashay? We all got to get better, yo. Reggie, come on, Reggie.
Yeah. No, you can't talk. You can't talk to me and say what I say.
Reggie. I'm trying to share right now, brother. I'm trying to share my screen now.
Your screen is shared, yo. Go ahead, yo. Okay, it's shared. I got you. You got the debate up, right?
Yeah.
This is live right now.
Is it
moving? He got this live up right now. This live right now.
Oh, that's what you want?
Yeah, that's why I said that ain't my screen. I don't think.
That is your damn screen.
That is your screen, though.
No, that's us. Oh, King J. He can't. No, King J.
Hold on. Let me remove it. Hold on.
I'll say put up. Okay, let me mute my mic.
You know what, man? Y'all funny guys, man. Hey, I'll say you better.
What? Here we go, my bad.
What? Why can I say this? What Reggie gonna say? And it's gonna be the same definition as proto science. Why you keep doing it? Why we gotta
say proto science?
I disagree with what you said, man.
But watch this. I'm gonna do. Shay, watch. You're gonna agree that the Egyptians did not void their priestly.
I think you mixing you conflating the conversation though.
Hold on, King J. I'm gonna ask you this question. You will agree that the Egyptians did not take away their priestly, their belief system, their gods and their deities out of their quote unquote empirical data that they clearly was producing. You're gonna agree to that. And once you agree to that, you're gonna agree to proto science. So King J, hold on. I'm asking you a question. Ashe. The Egyptians eliminate their belief system.
We know they didn't.
Did they do that?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Hold on. Are you certain and are you sure?
I know that they have that their spirituality was intertwined with they science, bro. Like
Okay,
there's no.
thank you.
But okay, can I ask you the question?
Thank you.
If you got a surgery now, if one ancient time.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, hold on, wait.
Hold on.
No,
I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
Wait.
I'm not finished.
You just said that, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not finished. Hold on. I got you.
And that was it right there. That's the end.
Hold on. Watch this, King J. Now, he's going to answer my next question and say, yes, that's what they do. But he may say, but that's the white man's son. Now, watch this. Hey, Ashe, does modern science and science today, do they leave out all their religious traditions when they practice science? The Journal of Nature, the Journal of Science, JAMA, the Royal Society. Do they do that? Do they leave out all their religion and beliefs out of it? Ashe?
Of course.
There you wait. Hold on. You know what? I might have misconstrued it. Say that again. Do they leave all that religious stuff out of it, King J?
Come on, we with that.
No, what you say? I didn't hear you.
Damn, you done beat him into submission.
Hold on. I say, do they leave it out today? Yes or no?
Now he agreeing with
you. When you gonna allow me to add my own?
So I have no more arguments.
Wait. Watch this though.
Hold on. I'm gonna let you talk, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you, as an older person, I'm no longer arguing with Reggie and King J. I'm just gonna keep playing this clip for them. Go ahead, I'll say, and then we gotta let King J go.
Okay, and I hope that this is always part of the clip, because the original conversation was, is there such thing as African science? The conversation was never, do Africans have modern science? You can have that argument that you just created, like a couple like about last week. You can have that little argument that you made recently. Yeah. That's new. That's brand new. And you can have that because that was never my thing. You got that. That's a fact. Clap, bravo. Drop another bomb for Ankh, because that was never my point, right? But let me ask you this though, since we asking questions, theoretics. Brother, I do an operation on you. He don't know these scientific terms. He doesn't know a lot, but he know how to operate. He know the anatomy. He know what a labia, all that is. He know the bones, all this stuff, right? Now, he do a surgery.
Who you talking about?
I'm just a surgeon, an ancient surgeon.
They didn't do that.
Hold on, wait 1 second. He do a surgery on you, bang, and he pray to Amun or whatever the hell he prayed to. Does that make the surgery null and void?
First of all, they had a treaties against.
Wait. Does that make the surgery null and void?
Well, they never did what you said though. So I'm not.
So they didn't do surgery. They didn't perform surgery.
No, they didn't. They didn't. No, you said they did surgery and knew about certain parts. They didn't know about none of that because they had a treaty.
There were parts named in the Edwin Smith. There's parts named.
I say if
y'all playing games now, y'all telling me that it's not names that are utilized within the Edwin Smith and the Ibis Papyrus virus. Y'all would consider parts of the anatomy. Y'all telling me that they ain't no parts of the anatomy.
I'm saying, they didn't cut open the body. I'm telling you that they had treaties against digging up graves and cutting open the body. They wasn't doing what you act like they was doing. They wasn't.
So
now the Egyptians
operation was done. I'm gonna ask him again, y'all, because he ain't answering the question. If an operation was done on you,
if
the operation was done on you by the ancient, and he prayed to whatever he prayed for, does that negate the operation that he did on you?
We never say it did. We never say it did. You keep saying you never say it did. Actually, but it makes it a holistic practice, though. It doesn't make it a scientific practice. That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. It's cool. It's okay. And Reggie knows. See, Reggie understands.
And then on top of that,
give me a source. Give me a source.
No, hold on, Reggie. We're not doing this.
Give you a source. No, they can't. They claim they can't give you a source that the medicine in ancient and the medical practices in ancient Egypt wasn't science.
Okay, so let me say, Reggie,
they can't find that.
Reggie, listen.
But they can make that claim.
I'm gonna let King J read his thing. Go ahead, King J. That's your thing.
Does nobody care about what King J Chat GPT lying to him saying, man, trying to keep getting the Bible subscription?
Real quick, because we want
he got the free one.
We both got our big brother. Oh, check it out. I say we both got our big brothers on here. Reggie supports your view. Supports my view. So this is kind of like an unbiased viewpoint. Honestly, I think we should do all debates like this because they gave us a score out of 10. I edged you 8.5 to 8.2 in a debate. So I did actually in a debate round win. So it says, in a debate, is there such thing as an African science? On the House of Conscience platform, King J and Brother Asay presented two distinct philosophical frameworks. Here is an overview of their core arguments and the points that define the discussion. King J's universalistic perspective. King J argued that science is a universal methodology rather than a cultural possession. The how, not the what. His central thesis was that science is a process of discovery, a how rather than an object owned by a specific group. Laws of physics. He contended that the laws of nature existed before humans, and while Africans were among the first to master them, the truths they revealed, such as gravity or mathematics, belong to the universe itself. Mastery over ownership. He emphasized that real dignity comes from the African mind being perfectly calibrated to master universal science, rather than trying to segregate science by culture. Neutrality. He argued that a bridge stands because of physics, not because of the culture of the person who builds it. Brother Asay's ethno-indigenous perspective. Brother Asay advocated for the recognition of African science as a application of knowledge. The cultural lens. He defined it through the lens of ethnoscience, looking at how different groups categorize and perceive the world.
I never even, hold on, wait, you got to stop. Your ChatGPT lying because I never even used that word ethnoscience. That's something that you introduced to the debate. That's craziness.
Okay. Well, I didn't interject it into the chat. I just put the debate in. So, I mean, we can go over it. This is their perspective of your argument. He defined it through the lens of ethnoscience, looking at how different groups categorize.
Yeah, he said you put it through the lens of ethnoscience. Ethno is actually what's the word? Ethno. What's the word?
The cultural lens.
Yeah, that's actually it's how anthropologists study.
I know what ethno means.
Right. So
he used archaeological and historical evidence such as the Edwin Smith Papyrus, which you just argued, to argue that ancient Africans developed a systematic clinical approach to medicine and observation that was distinct to their civilization. Indigenous knowledge. He highlighted specific examples of African innovation, such as African bedding techniques used for pest control 70,000 years ago, as evidence of a long-standing tradition of African scientific thought. Key points of contention, definitions. The debate often hinges on whether science should be defined strictly as the modern scientific method or a broader category of indigenous knowledge. Discovery versus invention. King J focused on the discovery of immutable laws, while Brother Asay focused on the specific cultural application and historical record of those discoveries in Africa. Terminology. King J views the term African science as a form of branding that limits the scope of African achievement, whereas Brother Asay saw it as a necessary reclamation of history. As with the most philosophical debates of this nature, the winner usually depends on which framework you find more compelling. The universalistic view that truth has no passport, or the particularist view that honors the specific cultural foundations of knowledge. So I asked her straight up, who won? I said, so who do you think had the best argument? Determine who had the best argument depends on which philosophical criteria you prioritize, the methodical consistency of King J or the historical evidence of Brother Asay. The case for King J. King J's argument was built on logical universality. He focused on the definition of science as a how rather than a what. Strength. His strongest point was the bridge analogy. He argued that physics is indifferent to culture. A bridge stands because it adheres to universal laws, not because of the heritage of the architect. This removed the burden of cultural branding from the scientific method. Core logic. By arguing that Africans tapped into universal logic rather than creating it, he positioned African achievement as a mastery of the entire universe.
All right, you done. You can't you read them shippers.
Okay. This was the conclusion. It did give us a score.
Nobody's listening to that. Trust me.
Ain't nobody, man. I was waiting on somebody to say that I didn't want to be a hater.
It gave us a score. 8.5 out of 10. 8.2.
Yeah, you crazy.
I didn't want to be a hater, so I was ready to rock out.
Hey man, just
I feel like it framed both of our arguments
we never
pretty
put in
well,
a debate in a free version of ChatGPT. Within the ChatGPT, other person that you're going against, yo. You know, your ChatGPT starts to take a life on its own. Y'all don't know that? Starts to think like the person is putting in there. Not unless you download it with some serious scientific information, it's paid for, and you say, don't put none of my biases in it. You got to program your thing to say, yo, leave me out of it. I need raw scientific thing. That's how my thing get down. Yeah, and mine say, and then you got to know something about the subject. People think, look, ChatGPT is really a search engine, y'all. No more than Google, y'all. See, y'all didn't know that. So if you don't got no understanding of the subject, it'll say what you wanted to say. You could actually put that Africans practice science, right, for thousands of years. It's going to say, yeah. And you can say, well, wait a minute. I thought science was formed in the amount of times. Then say, oh, hold on. Let me explain. It's going to break it down for you. That's why I asked everybody, put it in your ChatGPT first. Say, did Africans practice science? It's going to say, yeah, right? And then ask it another question. So let me come right here, all right? Reggie, you want to add something? Because we got to break up the reading. King J, you rock this with the reading shit.
No. The tape is running. Keep running the tape. Thanks.
Yeah, keep running. Yeah, keep getting information. Keep writing the paper. We're gonna come back to the source. Come back to the source. Here's the source.
So wait. So y'all finna stand on that? There's no there wasn't no type of anatomy named in them papyrus. That's y'all standing on that?
No, I ain't standing on that. I'm saying, yo, they doing rudimentary. They not doing high level surgery. We gotta stop that, yo. They wasn't doing that, yo.
No, I mean,
doing battlefield shit in the battlefield, like how to close a wound. How they wasn't doing no open. Come on, yo. We can't make it more than what it was. It was techniques that they still use today. So it was high level. Don't get it twisted, because they still trauma. The actual
triage,
trauma triage, right? That's coming from that. So I'm not the guy underestimating that. So yes, it's obvious that you can have your beliefs in something and still be successfully doing it, because they did it. That's all.
That's my point.
Yeah, I ain't arguing that. That's a crazy argument. I ain't arguing that. Yeah, they did high level surgery for the time, easy bands. Easy bands, you need not to be around. You need to be studying. Because I'm telling you right now,
fight coming up, boy.
Man, that's a easy band. Man, listen, bro. Woo. I caught quote unquote say cool before he had accepted scientific literacy. That's I caught him early. You know how Mayweather caught Wishmacombs early? What's his name, yo?
Nello.
The guy turned, Nello. He caught him early, right? He could play with him a little bit. Wow, let you burn yourself out with all the yeah, yo. See what I'm saying? I caught Sekou early. I caught Pastor Bennett. I caught them all early. Yeah, all right, easy band. It's not gonna be a walk through the park, bro. That man has been where you at, and he gonna up you with the scientific literacy. You still stuck in belief. He ain't there. So he got two modes. He using both hands against you. You gonna use one hand. So if we come right here, right? It says the origin of science. I tried to tell y'all, Reggie ran y'all off that position. Don't use proto-science. Okay, bro. So let's get off of it. Let me move down here to the Neolithic period. Here you go. It says the transformation of primitive humans from the Neolithic hunter-gatherers to the urban dwellers occurred in three primary locales. In the West, Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley. An important trait of this revolution was the creation of mathematics, arithmetic, geometry. It says, and proto-astronomy, as well as complete absence of natural science. See? Complete absence. It said geometry, as its name literally, earth measure, indicates originated with land measurements. Of course it did. Astronomy began with observations of stars in order to determine the optimum time for planting and harvesting. That's exactly what happened. It say, but an obsession. Here's the part that kills them, y'all. That's what I'm trying to teach and get y'all straight. But an obsession with predicting the future convoluted astronomy into astrology. See? Did y'all get that? I'm gonna read it again.
You skipped the whole paragraph. Go ahead.
No, I didn't read. I didn't want to read all that. For what? I'm getting to it. Astronomy. Listen, it talked about geometry and all that. Astronomy began with observations of the stars. This is like at Noctoplaya. In order to determine optimum time for planting and harvesting. But this would mess it up. But an obsession with predicting the future, you know y'all can't do that, right? Convoluted astronomy into astrology. That's when the heavenly bodies that affect the world and all that. It goes on. Celestial observations preserved as magical knowledge and transmitted as part of the celestial heritage produced a privileged priestly class in charge of religious rituals and arcane knowledge. It says religion arising from an innate sense of wonder and a fear of the powerful force of nature was used by priests for their own benefit. By monopolizing knowledge and encouraging superstitions, priests acquired power over the weak and uneducated. Not surprisingly, the spirit of rational inquiry, the precursor for natural science, was actively discouraged, while the more practical concerns of agriculture and construction advanced mathematics and technology. I'm going to drop this in the daggone thing for today's class. Y'all can read it or not. It's up to y'all. That's a serious read right there. If you look to the right, Science in the Ancient World, Introduction, The Origin of Science, Mesopotamia, 4000 BC, Egypt, 3000, India, and give you that Greece, Rome, Middle East, Mesopotamia, China, and current views. All right? That's some serious work right there.
Did your source say natural science?
It said they rejected natural science.
Let me read that where it says it.
It did. It said it knocked it out the box because your religious thing. Come on, man.
No, let me go. Let me see that.
Come on, how'd you know, man?
No, I want to learn something. I learned something.
It says, not surprisingly, based off the spookism, the spirit of rational inquiry,
right,
the precursor of natural science. See, the precursor of natural science is rational inquiry of natural science was actively discouraged, of course.
Yeah,
because they can't need to preach no more.
Right. So, not surprisingly, the spirit of rational inquiry, right? The precursor of natural science, right? So, natural science is the precursor of rational inquiry, was actively discouraged, while more practical concerns of agriculture and construction, advanced mathematics, and while the more, what sentence is that? Let me read this. Not surprisingly, the spirit of rational inquiry, the precursor of natural, was actively discouraged, while the more practical concerns of agriculture, advanced mathematics. That's not even a goddamn sentence.
It is, Reggie. What's wrong with you?
Let me put that in there. Is that a grammatical sentence?
It is, Reggie. Are you serious? Look, let me start up here. By monopoly, talking about the priest. Reggie, you know better than
that sentence. Let me just
Reggie, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna read it.
Okay, not surprisingly, I understand.
Comma.
The spirit of rational inquiry, precursor of natural science,
Reggie,
was actively discouraged.
Reggie, there's a
look like a run-on sentence.
Reggie, there's a comma there, Reggie.
Bring that up so I can put that. That's a run-on. Let me see that shit.
Man, you know what? This how you got. This what you doing?
That is a run-on sentence.
They got. Let me read it. Not surprising, comma, the spirit of rational inquiry, comma, the precursor of natural science, comma, was actively discouraged. What, man? I'm not doing
Make it bigger so I can.
Reggie, I'm not. Reggie, come on, bro. Why y'all? What I tell y'all? What I tell y'all about reading comprehension? What did I tell y'all? Didn't I say reading comprehension it needs to be like something that we need to really take a look at around?
I would like to do reading comprehension, but I want to.
So why are you trying to act like this sentence ain't a real sentence, yo?
Well,
with all the comments in place.
Where is it at? So I can put it in my so I can screenshot it Where are you at? Where's that? Okay, there you go. Take that off. Take that off. Take that off. Take all that blue shit off, right? Because I got to put it in my program.
Put it in ChatGPT for you, Reggie.
No. Don't put it in the ChatGPT.
But I'm gonna do the same thing you trying to do. Why I'm gonna let you do it?
All right, put it in ChatGPT.
Is this a run-on? But suppose it is, though. Then what? How does that help you? You got the idea, don't you? That's the real point. Yeah, I mean, like, come on, bro. Reggie, I cannot believe. Come on, bro.
I'm not saying that you can't. Nobody can't read.
I cannot believe, bro.
What does ChatGPT say? No, it's not a run. It's a single complex sentence with one main clause. The spirit of rational inquiry was actively discouraged. The second coordinate clause. What it does have is a slight awkwardness in phrasing. Okay, so part advanced mathematics sounds like it concerns advanced mathematics, which can be read a little unclearly. The cleaner version would be not surprisingly. Okay, so it seemed awkward. So it was not a run-on, but shit is awkward. Not surprisingly, the spirit of rational inquiry, a precursor to natural science, was actively discouraged. Okay, that makes that make put the other okay. So let me see. No, I'm just saying that's what made me say.
I got it.
Let's look at it.
I got
it. But put the first one up again. So I can
took us away from the whole thing, man. Just take the paper, Reggie. Take the paper.
No, it's quicker for me to I will get the paper.
For me to, I can send it to you in an email.
No, can you just go back up a little bit to the sentence?
Here go the sentence. Do you know? Here go.
No, that's the explanation. Go back up a little bit.
Right here, the celestial observation. Reggie, you studied Egypt. You know what they did. Yo, they was like wilding out. The priesthood.
You didn't move it up yet. Did you move it up yet? I want to see the sentence.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Move it up to where?
Maybe my computer's okay. Sorry, my computer froze on that part. So let me just screenshot this. So yeah, it's awkward. It makes it it's not clear. Just the author.
I just want the family to read this, yo.
Okay.
Everybody told me don't nobody got no sources, man. Y'all, everybody look,
where's the inline source for this shit?
What?
Where's the inline source? He making it up? I know he made it up because
I made that up. Reggie wrote a whole it up. I'm making that paper up. Reggie wrote a whole paper.
He didn't make the paper up.
Reggie wrote a whole thing. He faked y'all out. He wrote a whole. The damn abstract was longer than the whole paper. I ain't never seen an abstract longer than the whole paper, Reggie. Reggie bought a paper with an abstract was longer than the paper itself.
Hey, yo, but listen, check this out. Check this out. He ain't got no sources in his BS.
Oh, man, come on, yo.
We don't accept that shit.
Yeah, who was that? Yeah, what was that article from, man?
What was that? All y'all that, man.
What was the article from, man?
Look, y'all know Reggie is scamming right now. Reggie, you doing it on purpose.
Black Son, it said it was awkward. That's why I couldn't understand it. Now
I don't got no. Look, what are we doing? Look, here you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is me now. I'm the guy that even started the trend to bring in sources. Reggie know it. They wasn't even listening. They wasn't even trying to hear nothing Reggie was saying at all, ever. They just ignored it. I say, no, Reggie, that dude. Look, here go all the sources right here. Here you go.
That's true. Ankh noted what I noted, that you got PowerPoint presentations with fake sources or no sources.
There you go. There go all the sources for y'all. There you go.
Yeah, but it's not in line. I gotta go read all the books. It ain't got no page numbers.
No, you don't. You don't got.
Where's the page numbers?
It's a bibliography, man. The same thing that you find. You can have this. This is proper. Come on, bro. You don't gotta read all of nothing.
In universities, you're asking the professor to read all of the books. The professor.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Come on, man. There you go. So what you saying? You saying that this? You saying that this right here? You saying
the origin of it? Oh, come on. Yeah. Okay. EBSCO. Okay. That's fine. But
so you saying that's not real?
No,
EBSCO is not legitimate. What you saying, Reggie? Wow.
No, I'm saying EBSCO. It's from EBSCO, so that's fine. I'm just saying that I would like to see some inline sources.
Oh man, you mean like yours?
Like any APA strict APA document.
I ain't mad at you though. Anyway, I'm going to work.
Okay, but it does say science in the ancient world, so they were doing science.
We're doing what? No, Reggie. Reggie, they explained it. Reggie, they explained what it is. Reggie, they explained what it was.
In the ancient world, then it says science in the ancient world refers to the early development of systematic knowledge and acquired across various civilizations.
Y'all didn't want that. Y'all didn't want that, Reggie. No, y'all didn't want that. See that word? Hold on. I share. Hey, not you. Hold on. See, Ashe, you may have a chance to get it. If you stop listening to Reggie on this subject, you may get it. Guess what this says? This says science in the ancient world refers to.
Why y'all both go read it?
No, it's explaining. Listen, hold on. It's explaining. I love this right here. Watch this. This should clear it up for everybody what they mean when they say science in the ancient world. Science in the ancient world, that's the type. It goes on to say, science in the ancient world is what, y'all? Refers to the early development of systematic knowledge and inquiry across various civilizations, primarily examining how proto-scientific ideas, watch this, y'all, evolved into more structured forms of science. That's not what Reggie's saying. Reggie's saying shit was already there and it was already structured. But watch this. While many ancient cultures, including those in Mesopotamia, Egypt, India, and China, and the Americas, made significant contributions, that's what I've been doing the whole time, to mathematics and technology. Watch this. They often intertwine, like I said, their observations with religious, superstitious beliefs, which hindered, I've been trying to tell y'all for weeks now, the development of what, y'all? Of natural science as understood today. See?
Define natural science. Define natural science.
It's understood today.
I'm going to finish going.
It's understood today.
Let me finish. Listen. Hey, y'all hear me? Why are you yelling through my soul?
Oh, because it's still science. It's just
man. It's proto. Okay, so I'll be back. Hold on, Reggie. Are we back on the word proto science? We're gonna have to concede something. If we're back on the word proto science, then I'm on your side. Are we back on the word proto science? I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, are we back on? We're not back on. Okay, well,
I don't accept this paper with.
Okay, you don't accept the paper, no problem, bro. Hey, I gave you all the sources, Reggie. Anyway,
I don't accept. See, here's the problem,
Reggie. Are you trying to hold the youngsters back, bro? The younger brothers, 27. You trying to hold them back?
Oh no, I've helped for years.
Okay, so then stop it. Stop telling me that Unc is wrong. See, you know what? Unc does have a point. Because Reggie, you know better. Hold on, let me say something. Reggie, do you know what your expertise is in? Do you know what you do well? You read meta-nature, yo.
I do research. I don't.
And hold on. And you was the first person. Hold on, but no. You was the first person, yo.
Yeah, I was.
Is that the Egyptians didn't believe half that stuff they were saying, first of all. And that what they practice in the day ain't indigenous African Egyptian religion. And you know what you said? You said the priest was wild, yo.
Yeah,
you say, yo, they was actually trying to hold the people back and one telling them off. That's what most priest classes do. They want to have the one up you.
That's
so
Jabari.
Right. So that stops inquiry. But watch this. If we go to the Greek culture, they murdered people for trying to understand things in the natural understanding. Right. If you come right here, the next part of it, it says, in contrast, watch this. Let's see. In contrast, ancient Greeks emerged as significant turning point. Well, why y'all think it was a significant turning point? Because they had the Babylonians and the damn Egyptians. That's why. You can look at that and say, oh, let's tweak this. In contrast, ancient Greeks emerged as significant turning point where rational thought and empirical inquiry began to take precedence. It say Greek thinkers such as Thales and Pythagoras sought natural explanations for phenomenon. You remember they called them atheists for that. It's laying the groundwork for formal scientific inquiry. They just was laying the groundwork. They didn't have formal inquiry yet, but laying the groundwork for formal scientific inquiry through logical reasoning and deductive methods. It's despite witnessing the rise of advanced technologies in other regions such as China's investigations and the Mayans' complex calendar, These cultures often did not transition their observations to systematic scientific framework. Ultimately, while ancient civilizations laid important foundations, I've been saying this from day one, it was Greek, it was the Greek approach to knowledge, emphasizing the separation of natural laws from mythology and superstition that characterized the evolution of science into distinct disciplines. The historical context reveals the diverse paths of scientific thought across cultures, providing insight into how modern science emerged from these ancient traditions. But y'all want to deny all that. What I'm trying to tell you is even the Greeks didn't get there. How we know? Because they killed people for doing that. They not only murdered them, they called them atheists. They called them atheists. All you gotta do is come to the history. Look. I tried to get y'all there, but I got the middle thrown at me. Tried to tell y'all the history of atheism. Look, there you go. Yeah, if y'all think the Greeks was there, obviously not. They were so much not there that they killed people for it. Here you go. Here you go. Right. Here you go. Look, the history of atheism. Let's come here. Look. Here you go. India, classical Greece and Rome. Watch this. Look. That's how much y'all, for anybody promoted the Greeks was there, they was there so much that they murdered people. Here you go. In Western classical antiquity, theism was the fundamental belief that supported the legitimacy of the state. It goes on to say later the Roman Empire. Historically, any person who did not believe in any deity supported by the state was fair game, and accusations of atheism are capital crime. Charges of atheism, meaning any subversion to religion, meaning you saying it wasn't Zeus, we're going to kill you, were often used similarly to charges of heresy and impiety as a political tool to eliminate enemies. Early Christians were widely reviled as atheists because they did not participate in the cults of Romo-Greco gods. During the Roman Empire, Christians were executed for their rejection of the pagan deities in general and the empirical cults of ancient Rome in particular. Well, hold on. Philosophy. Wait a minute. Hold on. Here you go. It says the roots of Western philosophy began with the Greek world in the 16th century BCE. First Hellenist philosophers were not atheists, but they attempted, to explain the world in terms of the process of nature instead of by mythological accounts. They trying to figure out how to get the hell away from the gods. All right? That's what I was trying to tell y'all. I was simply saying, I'm a person that's fighting as an African American, right? To explain the world through natural causes, like natural phenomenon. But the community I am in fights against that because they promoting things that are not what, y'all? Grounded in empirical thought. Grounded in belief. Oh, you know the earth work. Okay, but how do they work? Go ahead, Reggie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so the author, right? Plitkin, right? I just want to make sure. What is the because what we do is just look people up really quickly. Right? George is he George? Is he George R. Plitkin, right? Doctor, and he's a PhD in physics, right? But can we just what's the name of the I just want to check one thing. What's the name of the article?
The article is Science in the Ancient World.
Okay. Okay, so talk, I'll come back. Science in the Ancient World?
Yeah, you can get this. Look, I'm going to get I got stuff I got to do.
No, so do I. But you got me really interested because I don't like his writing style. So I know he's a PhD, but I hope it's not the George Rudolph Plitkin I think it is. I hope it's not. Anyway, if this is a George Rudolph Plitkin, and I saw some things awkward, then he is the author of Physics of Harry Potter, the Science of Harry Potter. So if that's the same Plitkin, did he write the Science of Harry Potter?
What?
The author that you just had us meticulously
Reggie,
read.
you're gonna mess it up. Reggie, you're gonna mess it up.
Did he read? Did he write the science?
I don't know, Reggie, why don't you look at it?
Oh yes, yes. Right. He is credited as authoring multiple research starters. So he co-authored music, speech, audio, music, speech, and high fidelity. Right. But it looks like he also authored the physics of Harry Potter and the science of Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Is that who you gave us?
What's your point?
I'm not listening to anybody that writes anything.
He's an American physicist and a professor at Frostburg State University. He spent about 50 years in their Department of Physics and Engineering, beginning in 1970. Right? It says his research area. Come on, man. What are we doing,
His
bro?
what? Stop. Stop. His research concentration is in acoustics, especially the physics of music. What is the hell he know about ancient history?
Oh,
you know about science of Harry Potter. Get that article out of here.
Reggie, is that what you're doing, Reggie? Is that what you're doing, Reggie? You want to stand on that, Reggie? So now you're
I'm
saying.
going to stand on it.
No. Okay, so Reggie, so
it's
a good House of Consciousness joke. But you get laughed out of the classroom. You know what I'm saying? Like you do know. You do know that the person that wrote the first treatise in astronomy wrote a pseudo book on astrology. So that's not an issue with this man. He can write what he want to write. He can believe what he want to believe. But when he does his investigations, is it that? Come on, bro. Like, I can't believe you're doing that, bro. Like, are you serious?
It was awkward. But he's going to write the science of Harry Potter.
Wow.
Did you know that?
Reggie, is that Harry Potter? Reggie, I don't care about what the man
science of Harry Potter, I say. He's an expert in musical and physicists with acoustics. Look it up, everybody.
Crazy, bro. Is that what you're doing?
I'm absolutely doing it. He's not an expert.
So you actually saying he's an expert in physics, yo, for 50 years, yo?
Yeah, he is, but that's not an ancient history and ancient science and ancient culture.
And you are? Hold on, and you are? Hold on, Reggie, and you are? See, now I got to get you now. And you are, Reggie?
No, I'm just.
Your credentials is the House of Consciousness, Dr. Reggie. You got your formal doctorate from the House of Consciousness, and you worrying about what book
I got my bachelor's degree from the School of Engineering, my dude.
Yeah, but you got your doctorate degree from the House of Consciousness, and then you worrying about what a person writes.
Right. So we're gonna look at names like Ankh. We're gonna look at pseudo names. You. I'm not writing that.
Yeah, but Reggie. So you saying? Let me get this straight. Reggie.
You're the blackity black. You Ankh. Ankh is the blackity black.
I'm out here, Reggie. That's what is that how you feeling, Reggie? Then that's where you at.
I'm just saying that the
Reggie, you saying what, Reggie? Reggie, is the man credible? I'm gonna ask you, is this man credible, Reggie?
I'm not sure now. I'm not so sure.
He worked at the University of Frostburg, yo. They think he credible.
Yeah, but
so I'm gonna ask you, is he credible because he wrote something about her? You don't even know what the work. You don't even know what the work mean or talk about.
I had you look it up. You only have a problem.
I didn't have to look that up, bro. That's a good article. The article is with sources, bro. I don't care what this man write.
You do. I care about the science of Harry Potter. If he's writing about the Harry Potter got science,
yo, he teaches a course. Yo, he teaches a course called the Physics of Harry Potter course.
He teaches.
That's what he does. Okay. They teach the course in that.
The Physics of Harry Potter. He teaches a course.
Yeah.
I wouldn't register for that.
Cause he teach a course at a major university on something you don't like, that disqualifies him. All right.
Yeah, I pick and choose my courses. That's gonna help me. I'm not gonna take a course on the science of Harry Potter. Would you?
I wouldn't, but I'm sure somebody would.
Okay. I just wanted to let you know when you put up a source like that.
No, that's fine. I'm not Reggie. That wasn't an issue for me. The gentleman is
even your dog is trying to leave the house right now. Your dog is trying to leave the house.
The who?
I said your dog is trying to leave the house right now. That is not that is not I noticed that his writing style was awkward. Then I had to look him up to see what he's talking about. I don't see any inline citations. That is a source, ladies and gentlemen, but I think that I know that Ankh, you could find a better source than that.
No, it says, let me read it. It says the Physics of Harry Potter course was basically a college science class that used Harry Potter examples as teaching books. It said at Frostburg State University, his honors seminar reported as the Science of Harry Potter asked students to take magical ideas from the books and compare them to real scientific principles. Examples including questions like whether a flying broomstick could be related to anti-gravity research, or whether a creature like Fluffy could be discussed in terms of genetic engineering. Goes on to say the academic point of the class was not to treat magic as real science. Instead, it used popular fiction to help students think about what science can explain, what it cannot explain, and how scientific reasoning works. Reporting on the course described it as a way to explore the links between magic and science through reading, discussion, and scientific analysis, bro. So listen, man, you can make it like you want to make it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna beat him up even more, right?
All right, I'm out of here, bro.
His audience was geared mainly toward non-science majors.
Reggie,
with typical enrollment around 15 students.
Reggie, I'm out of here, Reggie, because you're gonna get me mad. You're gonna make me say, so then what is your audience geared to? Since you got a doctorate from sa.neter University.
Why are you gonna be personal to
don't
me?
Don't you got a doctorate from sa.neter University?
No,
and what is your class?
From sa.neter University.
Yes, you do, Dr. Reggie. No, you ain't see the radio?
That's his name that he created. Why are you gonna go after my name? My name is Brother Reggie. I call myself Brother Reggie.
Dr. Reggie, it's on the video.
I call myself Brother Reggie, or do other people the sa.neter call me Dr. Reggie? I am not gonna argue science.
Are you denouncing that, Dr. Reggie?
I don't personally use it. No.
Oh, okay, but it's on the video, so people watching that think you're a doctor, don't they?
Yeah,
Reggie?
I don't have no control over that. But I always tell people I'm Brother Reggie.
No problem, Reggie. No problem.
Why are you gonna stab me personally for
stabbing you? I didn't stab you. I'm saying you learned about what they're teaching at a major university.
Yeah,
you joke at. To sway the audience, right? When they trying to figure out different ways to promote scientific thinking, you don't say that. You don't come on and say, you know what? He really taught the class to trying to promote scientific thinking.
Yeah, it's a 15 students.
Make the separation between magical thinking. You didn't say that. What you said was a joke. So then I just cracked another joke.
No, the 15 students. I'm saying that.
And your mother got a white girl. How about that? Your mother got a white girl. I ain't never dated a white girl. Now.
Oh.
Your mother got a white girl. I ain't gonna say the name, but your mother got a white girl. Just for the record. I've dated beautiful light-skinned sisters, beautiful chocolate black sisters, and all in between. My baby mother, my twins, she's so light, you would say, damn, she light. Say she light, bright, fine. The woman I married, chocolate. Bang! So I teach my nephews, you don't actually have to date white. You can just date black women because they range in skin color. From the very lightest to the very darkest. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm definitely out of here, yo.
Hey, peace, Ankh. It's always a pleasure.
Peace, man. Appreciate you, man. But we got you Friday. We're gonna deal with that mumbo jumbo scholarship.
Just don't put me in. Don't have nobody put me in a clown thing. Please don't do that, because we can argue, we could disagree, but we shouldn't get mad at each other personally. No, I know you're not. You my brother. Peace.
Peace.
But that
So you heard that's where you at though, right, Reggie? Remember that though, Reggie. Remember, you discredited the source based off of college class, and the ignorant people that you are amusing at this point, yo. You just set them back another 100 years, and they thinking that's what you did.
They won't take his class. He teaches it to non-science students.
The people you talking to won't even go to school, bro. How about that? They won't even go to college.
We're trying to get them to go to school. Me and you, we're trying to get them to go to school.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm trying to
model.
I want them standing up getting the hell beat out of them. Look crazy. You gonna have them getting the shit beat out of them.
No. I encourage my son. He's gonna graduate with a degree in neuroscience, a PhD.
That's your son. What about the people that's not your son?
I got other groups of people. I got a friend of mine who just graduated from a Harvard MBA. I have lots of young people I encourage in my neighborhood. Right? Mm-hmm. Maybe one day I bring them on. Right? I'll show you some pictures at the graduation. Yeah. Well, and I'm not saying that you don't do it. I'm just saying in this.
That's all I do, Reggie. I don't bring them blackology. There's no room for blackology in a scientific classroom, Reggie. That's the truth.
But I'm not bringing blackology. This is Harry Potter.
No, it's black. See, you back on that? All right. Man, he got his joke in. I hope it served y'all well. Right? I hope he got the laugh in. I hope he just discredited a source based off of the author actually teaching in a college university. That's what he just did. So everybody understand what you just did. We don't have a problem with it.
Y'all was okay when y'all beat up Clyde Winters. Y'all were okay when y'all beat up Clyde Winters.
We just think that's pseudo.
When you beat up Clyde Winters, y'all were a PhD.
Now we beat up Clyde Winters for promoting pseudoisms. That's why Clyde Winters got beat up.
Okay, so
but here we go.
Touche. We can critique scholars. We can't.
No, you critique scholars through their scholarly work. Don't critique a scholar by lying on a scholar. You lied on him, man. You ain't tell the truth. You lied on him.
No,
I said lied
on Harry Potter.
Reggie, I ain't getting to that, man. You willfully lied on him. Willfully did. All right, Reggie, but I appreciate you, bro. Good joke. Peace. We're going to do it like this.
Protected by the Black Widow. Good juju, bad juju. Let them niggas know I'm coming. Y'all niggas summoning the demons, but I'm the demon that's coming. Good demon time. Good juju, bad juju. I'm God killing, I'm the one gunning. Top flight number 1. Now look, I'm standing at the junction. Good juju, bad. With knowledge and reality function facts. Now see that flame done came, and now y'all bitches running. Let them niggas know I'm coming. Let them niggas know I'm coming. Y'all niggas summon the demons, but I'm the demon that's coming. I'm God killer, and I'm the one gunning. Top flight number 1. Now see that flame done came, and now y'all bitches running. All y'all life you been sitting on the benches. 2 dimensions, cap, bitch. I avoid the trenches. I'm a home run over the fences. You say you study, that's cap. I stay with the heat, and that's a fact. Volcanoes and earthquakes, we make it shake. Wild ass niggas, you shameless. Keep talking bad, I make it famous. Good juju, bad juju. Protected by the Black Widow. Let them niggas know I'm coming. Y'all niggas summoning the demon, but I'm the demon that's coming. I'm God killer, and I'm the one gunning. Top flight number 1. Now see that flame done came, and now y'all bitches running. Good juju, bad juju. God killer, and I'm the one gunning. Volcanoes and earthquakes, we make it shake. Let them niggas know I'm coming. I'm the demon that's coming. Protected by the Black juju, bad juju.
And I'm your host, Bobby Banger. And with that, we out. Big up to all the pseudo. Peace.